know I might be headed for teardrops. Now that you got me started, I just can't stop. No, no. 'Cause I love you, baby. I can't let you go, baby. I gotta tell you that I've been looking for love so true. When I was down and out, along came you. Though you might be a liar and a cheat too, I just can't quit you now 'cause I love you. Yes, I do. I can't let you go, baby. I can't let you go, baby. 'Cause I love you, I love you, I love you. No, 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 no. Cause I love you, baby. No, 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 no. Can't let you go. 'Cause I love you, 'cause I love you, yeah. There was a time I didn't have romance, but after I met you, I felt it was my chance. But nobody tells me good things about you, baby. I'm gonna stay right here, and I don't mean maybe, yeah. I can't let you go. I can't let you go, yeah. I can't let you go, yeah. I can't let, I can't let, I can't let, yeah. I can't let, yeah. You can't tell me to let go, baby. 'Cause I love you, yeah. 'Cause I love you, yeah. I can't let you go, baby. I just wanna tell you that. No, 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 no. Yeah. All of my friends say, girl, you better take care. 'Cause that man is trouble, you best beware. And though deep down, I know I might be headed for teardrops. Now that you got me started, I just can't stop. No, no. 'Cause I love you, baby. I can't let you go, baby. I gotta tell you that I've been looking for love so true. When I was down and out, along came you. Though you might be a liar and a cheat too, I just can't quit hold it down, I know I might be headed for teardrops. Now that you got me started, I just can't stop. No, no. 'Cause I love you, baby. I can't let you go, baby. I gotta tell you that I won't. I've been looking for love so true. When I was down and out, along came you.
Hey, there we go. Hey, everybody. Happy to see you guys again. Sorry, I got allergies today. That's what's really been messing with my throat over the past few days. But I hope you guys have all been well. So far, we had a pretty decent day in the market. The NASDAQ kind of was not doing much, so Bitcoin really didn't do much. It kind of came up a little bit here. We're back above $30,000. That's nice to see. Overall, still bearish, of course, but, you know, at least we're not falling off a cliff. It seems like people are just kind of trading up right now. There's a little bit of manipulation in the market right now, which is going to be fun to talk about because it's very interesting what I just saw actually happen here on the whale wallets. And then, you know, overall, we'll talk about the market and stuff like that. But, you know, not much has changed from yesterday overall. Everything's still kind of going within the, you know, this choppy week that we've been watching here. But if you guys have any questions, this is going to be more of a questions-based day, talking about your favorite coins. And then from there, you know, just kind of chilling and hanging out. There's not really much new stuff to be talking about today. You know, not much from the earnings sector, not much going on there. Overall, we're just kind of, you know, gas seems like it's going to go up here pretty soon, unfortunately, or higher than it already has, I should say. And then from there, we have to look at, you know, how that's really going to affect the economy going forward, because you're already starting to see some of those layoffs happen just because of, you know, rising cost of goods. They got to cut costs somewhere. They've already dumped a lot of that share of cost onto the consumer. They're understanding that there's a limit to how much burden you can put on the consumer for the price of goods. Then it becomes, you know, ridiculous in the consumer's eyes to really pay for something that expensive. But okay. Hey, Christian. Hey, Cameron. Hey, Pinto. Hey, Michael. Hey, Matt, Damien, Brightus. The sky falling? Sky's not falling right now. We've actually had an okay time here, guys. And hey, Pinto again. China opened back up the other day. That is nice to see right there. That is good for the American economy as well as the Chinese economy. Right now, we already know we broke down below this long flag here. We're slowly consolidating. We've really turned this around. I mean, at first it looked like we were just going to come back and do like another dump here pretty fast. Both the stock market and Bitcoin have really calmed down here a little bit. I think we still have a lot further to go down, of course, but we have calmed down here a bit. The next trend line that you guys need to be watching for right now, since we did break back above this old trend line. If I can show you guys this very fast. I don't need the magnet there, but well, it doesn't need to be exact, but you can see we were kind of, you know, bouncing on this one. We came back down, came back up to test it, got rejected, but we eventually broke back up. So, you know, that's good for this one at the moment. But the real trend line, if you guys are going to be more bullish about buying here for today specifically, this could be a nice day for Bitcoin here if the NASDAQ's good on the tomorrow, of course. But that's the trend line we're looking for. If we can break above this, we should have a nice little boost back up towards at least 32,000-ish. And that'll give us, you know, that's a pretty big move for Bitcoin there. Having a pit stop, of course, at 31,000 just to make sure we can break above that. But, you know, if we have a good day with the NASDAQ tonight and we have a good little pump tonight, we have a chance for a very, very good day for Bitcoin tomorrow, having a nice little short-term boom, if you will. We're having a pretty generous level of consolidation, guys. I didn't think we were going to consolidate this long. Every time we break down, we find a strong support level of buyers around here, which has been pretty interesting. Take a sip of tea for my allergies very fast, guys. But that's what I'm waiting for right now. I was hoping that maybe, you know, if we broke down below this level or something like that may be a little bit more of a pain for us. But if I go back over here, came back up, retested, got rejected, came back up again, went kind of sideways, if you will. But after we're breaking down, all we're doing is not going from an uptrend to a downtrend. We went from an uptrend to a sideways trend here. And so far, it's, you know, we got lower highs here, at least lower highs, also lower lows. So if you wanted to look at it from a different perspective, you can think about it more like this as a downward channel, just a little bit there, but, you know, mostly sideways. So we have an opportunity to have a short-term reversal here. You guys know my opinion. I'm still bullish overall on Bitcoin. I'm still buying as a hedge in case we do find a bottom around these levels. But I think with the way the economy is going in the future, I think we still have a lot more pain to come that will cause us to come back down, unfortunately. All right, but let's bring this back over here. We don't need this one anymore. We can kind of look at that one a little bit here. Excuse me. But you know, it's still a pretty rough time in the market. But we do have an opportunity for some green here. What we have to do though is we have to manage to get off this magnet here, consolidate, break back above over the next few hours, probably consolidate some more, and then make a move. That's what you're most likely going to be looking for over the next few hours here, if you guys are actually awake for it. And it seems like a lot of the strong moves that we've been seeing over the past few days have all been when the majority of us are asleep here, including myself. Let me go over here very fast. You might see some small lines, but just ignore them for now. Or actually, I can switch those on to later. But ultimately, we're still pretty far away from our target of the 200 weekly moving average. I think we still have some time here. But what's going on in my mind here is over the next few weeks, we really have had, if I can zoom in here for you guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weekly red candles here. I still think we're most likely going to end with another, weekly red candle. I don't know, actually. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure if we're going to end up with a green weekly candle or a red one. Either way, the following week should probably still be bad, in my opinion, here, just because of how bad the stock market's looking and how bad the earnings have been over the past few days. Earnings have been bad and future guidance has been bad, pretty much because of inflation and all the extra costs of delivering goods right now to the consumer, to the manufacturer, whatever. You're seeing that the margins, how much profit they make per an actual product, from beginning to end of the cycle, that profit is going down. For the past few, I want to say year and a half, you've seen that companies have been able to charge you guys more for the same product, and to keep their margins strong, to keep their earnings strong, to keep their stocks going up and up and up. And what you're seeing right now is companies are saying they can no longer do that, or companies are saying that they no longer will do that. Walmart's a company right now that's saying they're not going to raise their prices by as much as they need to keep the margin strong, because they want to make sure that over time their consumers continue to come back more and more and more, which is a pretty interesting concept. Walmart's thinking about the consumers for the long term. I don't shop at Walmart, but I don't know. I don't know what the average consumer thinks about Walmart prices. That maybe people think they're too high already, maybe they think they're too low, or just right, I guess you would say. But it will be interesting to see how all that plays out. But you are seeing corporations start to plan out for the long term. Hey, if things get really, really bad, we got to find a way to make people think that, hey, if I don't have enough money, I got to go to Walmart. If I don't have enough money, I got to go here, right? Back this back up here very fast. There you go. But we've had a pretty nice consolidation, guys. We have an opportunity to have a breakout here later on tonight. It might be kind of fun to trade that breakout if you guys are awake. I want to, you guys want to be awake for that type of breakout there. All right. And hey, Danny. Hey, Five. Hey, everybody. Hey, Bartis. But Doge is still at 0.06. Something else about that? Hey, Martin. Hi, guys. Greetings from the Netherlands. Hey, happy to see you back as well. Saw gas below $5 in central Indiana on my way home from work. Hey, there you go. Right now, gas in Washington is around like $4.50 or something like that, over $5 in some places. They say it's going to get worse, so that'll be fun. But yeah, we'll see how expensive gas really gets. Right now though, gas prices, oil prices have been going down while gas prices have been going up, and that's leading to a little bit of pinch in the market right now, just because the demand, again, like what we talked about yesterday, just because we have a lot of oil doesn't mean we actually have a lot of gas. And hey, Pinto, glad I stayed away from all retail. Yeah, I mean, there are certain retail companies that are doing okay, but the majority are not. You really want to be careful if you're buying much stuff right now in the market, especially when it comes to retail and things of that nature, because remember, people are just now starting to say, hey, I don't really want to pay for that new piece of clothing at Target. That's kind of expensive now that I think about it. So, they're having those type of thoughts there. Now that food is a little bit more expensive, now that gas is a little bit more expensive, you have less of that, that pocket money that you might otherwise spend on some really fun stuff. And people are saving up for those big trips. Like if you actually plan out trips like a responsible person, that the price of a road trip over this, for the summer has gone up drastically than what you guys probably thought just a few months ago. Instead of it maybe costing like $1,000, or I don't know how much it might cost, like $1,000 for a road trip of gas if you're doing a nice road trip. Now that probably costs anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 for the same amount of travel, right? So gas just got a lot more expensive. So people are going to have to make those decisions on their own, but you can definitely see there's a Target is not a priority. Target is one of those more luxury stores, if you get what I'm saying. People will continue to, trim down their balance sheet themselves, trim down their budgets to make sure they can afford what they need to, and then they can kind of do what they will with the extra cash. A lot of people still have extra cash. They're just going to have to be more picky about what they do with it. Do I want to buy this new shirt, or do I want to go out to dinner, or do I want to go to a movie, or do I want to drive somewhere? You got to plan all this stuff out, and you only have a limited amount of money after all. What's it here? They're effing expensive. And hey, Cameron, I got 30 chickens. There you go. See, having chickens is nice. Normally, for me, I just go to the Asian markets and they got tons of cheap meat there. That's all good quality. You get duck, especially duck. Oh my gosh. I have a freezer of bear, a freezer of chicken, a freezer of duck. I just got a freezer full of meat right now. And I'm going to get a big pack of rice here pretty soon as well. That's going to be really nice. And hey, Bideford, good evening. I'm going to sleep through your name in the Netherlands. Good night. Hey, Martin, have a very, very good night, my man. And you might get to see a nice pop here when you wake up for Bitcoin. I don't see it. And hey, Cameron, I thought you were bearish. I am bearish. Guys, just because I'm bearish, it doesn't mean we don't have bear market rallies. If you take a quick look here at the stock market, let me just open this up here so I have to go from this chart. Major index, yeah, there we go. So here's the Dow Jones, S&P, and Bitcoin. But if you just go over here to the Dow, look at the daily chart. We've been bearish for a while here, but just because we're bearish doesn't mean we can't have these little rallies here. So, an example, this little rally that we saw after we came down really hard, this rally came back up about 9%, right? And then, of course, after that, we're now down about 11%. Or how about this? Here. This entire cycle so far, we've come down about 15%, but we've had those little bit of a rallies in the middle of it. So, yes, I'm bearish overall. I think everything has to come down even more. You guys know I was complaining about the stock market being too high over here because I can give you guys my bearish, bullish opinions, but I was like, we should already be falling right now. The economy is not looking too good. You see all the cracks and everything like that. And then it took a little bit longer than I thought, which means I was wrong. The market's never wrong. I was wrong. But the market eventually did start coming down here, but it didn't. It's not like it just came down all at once. This rally right here came up about 8%. We're allowed to have these little bit of rallies in the market here. So just because I'm bearish and I think we're in a bear market, it doesn't mean we can't continue to go up here for a little bit of time. The ultimate thing here is when I talk about Bitcoin and I'm talking about, hey, I'm bearish on Bitcoin. Let me just remove all this stuff here. Actually, let's not do that. Let's keep it all there. Let's open up the Coinbase one so I can actually have more time historically. There we go. Oh, that's what I'm looking for. So what I'm looking for historically is for us to hit the 200 weekly moving average here, all the way back in 2014, there as well. That's what I'm hoping for right now. I don't care how we get there. I just assume we are going to get there over time, right? We could finish off this week being green and still get down there over the next few weeks, right? And that's why I'm buying every single day we're down below the 100 weekly moving average, right? Right now, I'm just a little bit more cautious about it just falling like a rock here. It still can happen, definitely. But the fact that we've had so many red candles, we've never had this many red weekly candles in Bitcoin's history. Never. So my thought is maybe eventually we might have one green week and then we just continue to plummet. So like if you look back over here, COVID's kind of its own story. So yeah, we kind of stopped right here for a week and then we just kept on coming back down. Same thing can happen. And if I were to go back to the daily chart, this is exactly November 26th of 18. So let's move back a little bit. So it's this little part right here. We had a big move down, but after that, we had a little bit of a rally. And you might have actually seen some people buy the rally. This rally was about 27% for Bitcoin. And then after that 27% rally, Bitcoin came down 29%. Right? So we can have these little bit of a green days here. Just because we're in a bad situation doesn't mean every day has to be like, blood red and being catastrophe and stuff like that. Although I would enjoy that. I would just buy shorts and ride the wave down, of course. But, for now, nobody knows how we're going to get there, but I still think we're going to come into contact with the 200 weekly moving average, if not come down below it. My only concern for the long term here is what happens if we get into a full-on recession where the market really starts to freak out. I don't think we're going to I think if we're going to have a recession, guys, I see you guys as, if you guys haven't already, go up and vote on the poll. There's 48 votes so far. Do you guys think the recession is going to be not too bad, bad, really bad, or extremely bad, right? I think it's either going to be bad or not too bad personally. And because of that, what I'm thinking of is then we're not going to we'll find some support over here, consolidate for maybe a month or so at these low levels, kind of freaking people out even more. And then, excuse me, looking at this, like we have with everything else, consolidate here for a little bit of time, and then start making our move back up here. Maybe it'll be a move like this, or maybe it'll be a big parabolic move. I'm thinking more of this move right here. But we'll see, of course. Usually these larger moves that we see happen at the halvings, and you just see these really big parabolic booms. This one in particular was so interesting because we had COVID relief money injected into the market, so everybody was getting unemployment checks of like $2,000 a month or something like that. It depends on how much money you're making. One of my friends got like $1,600 a week from the government, so it depends on how much money you were making before. But plus the stimulus checks and everything like that. So this was really fueled by governments. So your tax dollars actually did something for you guys. But move the drawings here. And the short term, since this is a weekly chart, I think we're going to find a way down here. I have no idea how long that's going to take. If Bitcoin's looking very boring over the last few days, that's fine by me. I've just been doing a little bit of day trading. But overall, I do think we are going to be coming back down here to the 200 weekly. Every single time we enter a bear market, we come into contact with it. 2015, 2018, 2020, and then 2022 question mark, because we don't know if it's going to happen yet, but I assume it's going to happen here. And on top of that, we have all the characteristics that determine a bear market. A pretty nasty move is coming, and we've been talking about this, I think, since mid early February about the death crosses here. Death cross on the weekly chart. Can you guys see this? Let me just make sure I zoom in here. Kind of a recap for all of us. Kind of why we're in this position from a technical standpoint. Death cross here. Oh my gosh, that means bad stuff is happening. Death cross here. Oh wow, that means bad stuff is happening. Death cross here. Oh my gosh, that means bad stuff is happening. And you go all the way back to 2014. Every single time we have this death cross, bad stuff's happening, right? It usually means we're coming into contact with a 200 weekly moving average. And then you add on top of that, get this back in the picture here. Every time we break down below the 20-month moving average, we talked about that. Really right after February closed, April, yeah, right after April closed, and I was like, hey, we're probably gonna make a wick, then we have a fall here, okay? And we made a wick, and then we started a very nasty fall, as we all remember, kind of exacerbated actually by the Luna UST crisis that all of us kind of remember because it's so fresh. But every time we break down below it, it's a bad time. Broke down below it here, bad time the following month. Broke down below it here, bad time. Took a few months for us to have a bad time, but we ultimately did have that bad time where we came into contact with the 200 weekly moving average. I think that's most likely what we're going to see happen here again, and that's why I'm continuing to buy up at these levels, buy a little bit every day, and then buying up much more if we do come into contact around $22,000, $23,000, maybe with a very long wick that comes down a little bit to $20,000, maybe even lower than that. Anything under $25,000 though, I'm going to be happy to buy a lot of crypto around those levels, especially altcoins. Altcoins are going to be dirt cheap, and they may get cheaper than dirt cheap, if you get what I'm saying, if we have a nasty move down like COVID, or a nasty move like down over here in 2014, 2015. During those moments, altcoins really just had the worst times imaginable. But I'm going to be loading up specifically for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Matic, stuff like that, ADA, a lot of other coins out here. All right, but let me go over here very fast. Back this up here. And then for now, let me put this in the 4-hour. What's the best way to show this line? What the bulls are hoping for now is a nice breakout above that level. And for me, let me just make sure that's actually accurate. There we go. So as Bitcoin's concerned, we've been having trouble staying really above this line for too long. This is the Fibonacci extension level. Depending on which one you're going to be looking at, there's a few you can use here. But you can see we've had a tough time really just staying above it. We had some, can you guys see this accurately? Let me go over here to maybe an hour chart. I might zoom in a little bit more here. There you go, Fibonacci extension level, pretty basic one. Broke down, still kind of gliding down here slowly. But I can get rid of that now since we don't really need it anymore. We've been having trouble. We tapped it right there, broke over just for a second, stayed down, popped up just to get rejected by this one. Staying above this a little bit, finding it as a good level of support here for a couple times, but choppy. We're having trouble just within this block right now. So Maybe if we can manage to get back above 31,276, maybe things can get a little bit better. But then, of course, the main goal here is about 32,900-ish. Probably kind of coming into contact with that Ganfan level. If I can open up another chart for you guys. Ganfans. Which one do I actually want to show you guys? As far as the first one, we'll just kind of go over most of them here. As far as the first one, we broke it down a while ago. Our next level of support happens to be down here about $22,000. I think if this one is going to be more accurate, I think we may go well below this 22,000 level if we do end up tapping it. But then by the end of the week, we'll be back above it if that makes sense. So it'll be one of these long wicks, and then it'll come back up, and then maybe we find some support there. Just kind of my little bit of an opinion. We'll see if it actually happens. It's a long shot at best right now with the data that we have. The next one over here, this one's not overall too important just because we've already been breaking down below the lows of last year. This one, we kind of fell down below our last support level here. We found some support there, broke down here, not looking so hot, okay? So this one's really not much use for us at this moment in time. This one over here broke down right there between the two Ganfan levels, and man, it's looking pretty bad. Of course, our next level of support happens to be around 20,753 around this level here. Again, maybe we even come down all the way to $19,000 with a wick and then scream our way back up there, and everybody's buying as much as they can, right? If we're down below $20,000, I'm going to be buying a bunch of altcoins. Not even Bitcoin or Ethereum anymore. A lot of altcoins down at those lows. All right. But what was the one I was going to show you guys here? There's a couple. So that one's some last one's lows. So this is from January 1st, pretty much. Okay, maybe this is the one we need to pay attention to here. Is this it? 1 hour chart. Yeah, this is one of them. So you can see we broke down, get the auto out of the way. We broke below this Ganfan level, and it's been a pretty consistent level of support. If we do manage to make a move here later on today, we're going to have to be able to break above this Ganfan level, and that Ganfan level right now is around 31,624. That's going to be something we have to get above. You will see a level of resistance there. It'll probably look invisible to most of you guys because it's not on the 24/7 chart, but that's what there's going to be a level of resistance up here that we're going to have to try to break out above. As far as the other one's concerned, on this Ganfan level in particular, let's go over here to the 4-hour chart. There we go. Found support for all of like a half an hour, then eventually we came down. The next Ganfan level over here is at 32,200. So we will have a few Ganfan levels. If we do, if we continue to be bearish, which I think we will, we might come into contact with either one of these, which means we break above the first one. But ultimately, by the end of the week, we're back down below these, if that makes sense. Okay. So by the end of the week, we're down below them. So if I show you the weekly chart here, we might just come back up here a teeny bit, then eventually just end up closing down below these blue lines for both these charts. And one quick thing here, not as important because there's not really much going on here, but if I go to tutorials for channel specifically, this one, we can take a quick peek here very fast at the at the moving averages here. So we're going to go over, like always, simple moving averages, exponential moving averages, double exponential moving averages, and triple exponential moving averages. I'm not good at saying any of those words. But pretty soon, guys, we're close to having a death cross with the 20-week moving average crossing down below the 100-weekly moving average. Usually it doesn't mean all too much. If I can find the last time it's happened right over here. This actually preceded, or this followed a big nasty move. So it wasn't it wasn't, hey, look at this, something bad is going to be happening. We tend to look at that as the 20 crossing below the 50, and that's been working out for us pretty well over the past few cycles, right? But so far, kind of means we're getting close to the bottom here usually when that happens. If we go all the way back here to 2014, right there, we were pretty close to the bottom at that time. So it means we're kind of getting close to the bottom. Doesn't mean we're at the bottom, but usually it signals we're getting close. It didn't really work during COVID because we went down so fast and up so fast, just because COVID and how the market's kind of had a V-shaped recovery. But it's interesting to see how all that worked out. Now, one other thing here, well, a couple other things I guess I would say. Exponential moving averages. Do I have this one going? Exponential week moving average. Let's add an EMA for this one as well. EMA with the 100. That hot pink probably works best for us right now, doesn't it? And then go 100 chart. All right. You can see we actually found a little bit of support on the weekly chart with the 100 EMA. That was pretty interesting to see. We broke down below that one, already coming into contact with the 200 weekly moving average at 200 exponential weekly moving average in particular, finding some support there. Normally in a bear market, we come down below it quite a bit. Okay, so just understand that. But this does end up being a level of resistance, and it seems when we manage to break back above it, pop goes the dynamite. So just keep that in mind here, guys. Big pops on both those cycles. If we go all the way back down here to 2014, we actually held it pretty well. We didn't actually pop above it much. We popped above the 20 week a little bit there, a little bit there. That was interesting. But as far as the last two big capitulation moments, when we came down with the death crosses and all that other good stuff between the monthly moving averages and all that good stuff, we had a good pop after we broke out above the 200 weekly exponential moving averages. So, take a note of it if you want to. Could be something interesting that could happen during this next cycle. But it would suggest that first we're going to have to come down below it. And since it's not COVID this time, since it's just kind of a rough market, we may have to consolidate for a while underneath this 200 weekly moving average, and that being a big level of support. Now, you can see that on the weekly chart, we came above it multiple times. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times before it really happened. So, you're it's better to just kind of buy down here as much as you can at these low levels around the 200 weekly moving average, the simple moving average. And then whenever it happens, It's probably best not to try to time this. Otherwise, you could get you could get burned here quite well. So if we go back over here just in time a little bit more, that's COVID. And you see these are all weekly moving averages, I think. Chart, no. Week, week, and then week. There you go. But you can see the daily charts, we even closed above it for one day, then we started getting choppy. We never closed above it for another day. Almost there. Then when we finally did, 1 day warning before the big pop happened. 1 day warning, then boom. I'd rather just buy as much as I can down at these levels. I'd be happy that I bought a whole bunch of crypto. That can be altcoins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever you guys want it to be. And then you ride it up, okay? Now, one other thing here, or a few other things, like I said before. But before I end this, that is something to be interesting. That's something that you guys should take a little bit of a note of, or just kind of plug that into the back of your head. It seems to be a good level of resistance that has been a pain to get above, but once we get above it, it's a nice time. It's a really nice time. Now let's move over to the double exponential moving averages. These last two will be a lot faster, as you guys know. As far as what we see in the history books of these two, they don't really mean too much here, not too much as far as capitulation cycles and things of that nature. But usually when they're all clustered together, we seem to have some pretty big moves, especially on the triple exponential moving average. Right now, we're still pretty far away from the 20-week moving average as far as the double exponential. Same with the 50, but we are about to have a death cross here with the 50 and the 200 double exponential moving averages. Last time that happened was back over here. It actually followed a big move down. It wasn't the cause of one. It followed it. Then go back over here to the other capitulation. It followed it as well. So usually when that happens, we've already had a big plummet. It looks like we have a couple more weeks before it happens. So in theory, we should have one more big drop before that really happens, and then it'll be more of consolidation time, if you will. And that's just kind of going off of that specific time frame, though. There's other technicals to look at, but usually these ones have been pretty accurate over the years because you seem to find like, whoa, this always crosses after the big move, so there should be a big move coming, another big move coming, before this happens. And the last one here is the triple exponential moving averages. This one I give the least credibility to. You can use it. It's just not as accurate. This is weekly moving averages, or this is daily. I mean, you can just see how wild all this stuff is right now. As far as this 200 is TEMA's, okay, it is a TEMA. Not really much to be learned here right now. Normally what you're looking for on the daily is when these bad boys cluster up, sometimes you see a really nice move out of it. Clustered right here, right? Cluster, big move. Cluster, big move. Clustered, move. Clustered right there, move. A little bit of a cluster right there, a little bit of a move. And so forth here, right? Cluster, big move. There was some clustering right there, a little tiny move. So it's not always accurate, but a lot of times when you're in these make or break situations, it seems like this really says, hey, something's about to happen. Keep an eye on it, okay? And so far, they're still pretty far apart on the daily chart right now. Bitcoin, it looks like it's trying to make a little bit more of a pump up back to 31, 32,000. We'll see what happens going forward. But right now, there seems to be some games being played about the whales that's kind of confusing to people. So we'll kind of see what that means here in a second, because even I'm a little bit confused, because normally the guy that buys up a lot of Bitcoin, he's usually pretty, he makes the same moves over and over again. But now he's doing some really weird stuff here. So let me pop out of this one very fast. Get this. Get out of the DAO. We don't need coin market cap right now. And did I find this one right here? I mean, we can use this one right now for a chart. Go to the 15-minute chart. Oh, 4 hour. Let's go to the 15-minute. There you go. And we could put Ethereum up here as well, because I know Ethereum is going to have something similar to Bitcoin's chart. That could be a breakout for Ethereum, which could be a good thing for Bitcoin. That could be pretty interesting, but we've had a few false ones so far. So instead, I'll do something like that to kind of mimic what we're seeing off of Bitcoin here. All right, but let's just go over to the 5-minute chart for Ethereum. That should work out for us. We talk about whale number 3 every now and again, guys. Every now and again. Whale number 3 did something really confusing to me personally today. He sold 1,500 Bitcoin off, which usually means a big downward move is coming, right? He sold in 429. Might as well go back to this page very fast. He sold right here. A few days later, a big move down. All right, so use the good little arrows. Sold right there. Sold at 419. Sold right there. 4441. Those would be the last two we check out here for a while. 44 and 41. Okay. Sold, big move down, sold, big move down, sold, a move down. Okay. So he did that. Now, this guy, he sells some today, right? Which would normally signify a big move down, which kind of goes into theory what we're all talking about right now. But then at the last minute here, just a few hours later, like 4 hours later, he buys 1,200 Bitcoin, which was kind of confusing to me. So I wonder why he thinks that. I wonder if he saw the charts and he himself, or he or she himself, herself, themselves, changed their mind and was like, maybe we're going up, so maybe I should hedge this bet a little bit, and I'll sell, all he's ended up selling overall would have just been about 300,000 Bitcoin here, or excuse me, 300 Bitcoin. So I'm not sure what to think about this one in particular. If you guys have any thoughts on it, please let me know, because normally this guy's pretty the same, right? He'll sell, and then a couple days later, after the drop that he thinks is going to happen, it falls. He buys it back for a cheaper price, and he therefore accumulates more Bitcoin. Great strategy, awesome strategy. But today he bought and sold within a few 4 hours of each other, and so I think he's maybe anticipating a little bit of a pop. And so if I was him, because ultimately everybody's I'm still bearish here, so I'm kind of thinking of it as if he's still bearish as well, or he or she's bearish. If we have one more pop back up here, I wonder if that means then he'll sell up here, and then the price will go back down, and it'll be one gigantic trap, because all we've been experiencing over the past few weeks is, let's pump up, trap, pump up, trap, pump up here, trap, right? Even the last day we had a breakout right here, and you saw everybody, oh my gosh, you got to buy, trap, right? So we'll see how it all ends up, but I am interested to hear you guys' opinions on this one, because it's rare that this person actually does this. There you go. Get rid of all this extra stuff. Because he has a pretty good track history of when he sells, bad stuff usually follows, right? And normally he's not selling as much. Right now you see those few sells, but a lot of times he's just, look at this, grain, buying. This is all the way back in December, so it's not like he sells all the time. During this bear market, he's been pretty accurate though as finding those good spots to sell. But again, he is more of just accumulating lots of Bitcoin, less of going up on a big move up, and then he'll sell off a little bit more. But I thought that was pretty interesting to kind of see there, because my initial theory for today when I saw this was, okay, well, I guess another big drop is coming. Here's another reason why, being bearish could be the best way to be thinking about the market right now, to buy shorts and stuff like that, or open short positions. And then just, a couple hours later, I was like, huh, what the heck is this guy doing? What's this person doing over here? So I wonder if he's betting on a little bit of a pump and then a dump, if you will. Oh, and there Bitcoin goes. See, we were talking about that a few seconds ago. So now Ethereum is trying to make the same move here. We're seeing a nice little move following a double bottom, just like what we saw yesterday. Guys, remember? We had that big move yesterday during the stream off of a double bottom here. So this is interesting. Watch this play out, but Bitcoin's having a nice little surge. A little bit of a rebound here, guys. That's nice to see. Let me see what altcoins are actually doing right now as well. Altcoins up about 2% right now. They'll probably go up a lot more than 2% if Bitcoin continues on this trajectory. So still not too late if you guys want to buy for a short-term ride here. So, trade at your own risk. Make sure you guys are doing the technicals and stuff like that. But at least it looks like right now we're going to have a little bit of a boost. I would just be wary of anything bad that might happen sometime tomorrow as far as the NASDAQ. I don't know if anything really bad is supposed to happen. It's coming out tomorrow. I know we had worse than expected unemployment claims, but besides that, I didn't see too much bad data out there. It's nice to see this move, though. Let's see it here. Hey, Starscream, my Ethereum long is looking nice right now. That's great, my man. That is fantastic. Hey, everybody. Yeah, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. I really do appreciate it, guys. And hey, Little Cola, greetings, Mike. Was wondering what your thoughts were about the Melvin Capital announcement. They were going to have to liquidate their assets. Seems like a big news. I think it is big news. They kind of really messed up their portfolio last year with the over by shorting too much of the meme stocks, and they got ripped for it, unfortunately. I think it's kind of more of a lesson to the market to not be so stupid and be so aggressive. Usually what happens in those scenarios is they just get cocky and then they get really greedy. And when you're very, there's a word, not cocky, arrogance plus greed, which is kind of Wall Street in its essence, you really see them start to make some really big mistakes there, right? And they got caught in a mistake by another investor. They paid the price for it. I think everybody that works at that company will most likely be able to find other jobs, but you are starting to see some issues that arise in the market here. But they owed a lot of money to a lot of people, and maybe if the market was doing good, they would have been able to pay their debts in an easier manner. It doesn't seem like they're going to be able to pay all those debts back off, but it seems like the connections that are on Wall Street, they'll be fine if they'll be fine. But they eventually got taken down, so they were taken down by the diamond hand Wall Street YOLO guys, right? So that is kind of nice to see a hedge fund did get taken down after all the because of their own arrogance, right? I don't feel bad for them because it's arrogance that got them in that position as well. Now, I feel bad maybe for somebody that works there that didn't take part in that trade, but you know what? You got to be careful who you work for, right? But everybody on Wall Street has connections. It's part of the game. It's part of the game that goes over there. Over the past, I guess, year, I've met a lot of Wall Street bankers and professionals, and they are arrogant, but like the most friendliest guys in the world. Arrogant jerks, whatever. They're the bro attitude. So I get along really well with them. I don't really talk too much when I'm hanging out with them, so they're kind of having their funny moments, and I'm just kind of standing there, pretty much. I can be a little bit awkward, but they are nice guys. But they all know it's just part of the way the system works. There's gonna be bad times and good times. When things are really, really good, they're really, really good. When they're bad, they're just so bad. They're never really terribly bad, except for the 2008 financial crisis. We haven't had it that bad since over 10 years, like 12, 13, 14 years at this point. Let's see right here. Wondering what your opinion is in reference to how much the NASDAQ will drop for the bottom. I'm hoping more than another 10%. I think it'll probably be another 10% or so. That's what I'm expecting. It seems like people are starting to want to buy back into the market a little bit. I think we just need one more big drop, with some grinds in there ahead of time. And after that, I think we're going to find a bottom. Specifically, because again, Bitcoin itself is very close to its perceived bottom as well during its cycle, that 200 weekly moving average. And since we are following the NASDAQ right now, I can definitely see the NASDAQ coming down a little bit more. If we were to take a look at the NASDAQ here, let me pull up the NASDAQ right here. Let's go to watch list. There we go, NDX. So right now, we're just chilling at a Fibonacci level. That's all we're doing right now, guys. We're just chilling. We're waiting to break down below it. Once we break down below it, then we can come into contact with the NASDAQ's own 200 weekly moving average, or maybe the next Fibonacci level. I don't know if we're going to fall all the way down to the next Fibonacci level, but I do think we're going to find our way back into this little section. So if I can just scribble it, this little section right here. Okay, I think we can easily find our way back in there. So if we were to find our way back down to the 200 weekly moving average, that'd be about 10% right there. Okay, so that could be that next 10% or so. But by then, I don't know if we're really going to be able to break down below the 200. It's been a while since we really broken down below it, all the way from COVID. Oh, no, not even COVID. Wait, let me see. Nope, this was COVID. Not even in COVID did we break down below the 200 weekly moving average, okay? That was my bad there. But not even during COVID did we break down below the 200 weekly. The last time we did was the 2008 financial crisis, and as soon as we did, all hell broke loose. So if we break down below it, Bitcoin's going down below the 200 weekly moving average, right? So let's hope that doesn't happen. because remember, this is Bitcoin's first real recessionary kind of test here. We don't know exactly how low it's going to go. But all of our knowledge is going off of the previous cycles here. That's why we talked about the chance of Bitcoin going down to $16,000. What would happen there, of course, right? So we'll see how it all plans out. But we want to kind of hope that we don't fall down below that 200 weekly moving average in the NASDAQ. That might not be good at all for anybody. And then the last time it happened as well, the .com bubble. That one looks this is a little bit more drastic, of course, than what we had over here. But a lot of money flowing in, broke down below it. Had a nice bounce off of it. We had a very nice bounce off of it. And then we started to continue to grind down until, at this point, this drop was about from 83% drop in the NASDAQ. While this drop was, you can say from this peak down up here, I guess, 55% during COVID. We came down only about 30%. So not nearly as drastic. And now we're getting closer and closer again to the 200 weekly moving average. We'll see what happens with it, but another 10%, yeah, it wouldn't kill it. But, again, every single week, this thing goes up a little bit more. So it's not going to be exactly at that 10% down move. This past week, if I can zoom in here to show you guys what I'm talking about. This past week, the moving average came up to $22.74. $22.74, which means, we're only going to go up a little bit more. So that should give us a little bit more cushion there. But, if we come into contact, that's really what we want to hold. If you guys want to trade options or crypto, I would play a bounce off of this like nothing else. I would love to play a bounce off of this. As long as you don't just flat out crash through and close down below it, I'm going to be fine with playing a bounce. If we, just come back down here, I'm too zoomed in. It's going to actually go by grid here. That's what all the lines look like, but you just have to, nobody ever zooms in that much. But here, if we come down here and then we just kind of chill and have a big bounce, then come back down, then we can move. Sure, maybe we have a double bottom or something like that. A lot of times we have double bottoms here. It would be more of a double bottom on a daily chart, not a weekly chart though. But if we, let me delete that very fast. Now let me just change. Oops, put this back over here. Let me put that 200 daily moving average. Let me make that a 200 weekly moving average so you guys can see what it looks like on this daily chart. There you go. We're really close. We're just kind of hovering around this Fibonacci level right now. We could always have a little bit of a bullish movement before coming back down, but that 20-week moving average is going to be a level of resistance. It's been our resistance for the past few days here, weeks here. But if we end up breaking down to tomorrow, which tomorrow could definitely happen, or the day after. I mean, right now it looks like we just held today barely, just barely. Maybe we can even have a little bit more of a rally. I don't know. But I do think we're going to have to come down to that 200 weekly moving average. When we break down below that, though, it's usually not a fun time. The 200 daily, sure, not much crazy stuff happens, right? This is the 200. Oh, this no, that's the chart. We break down below the 200 daily moving average all the time with no major consequences, right? Break down, okay, cool. Break down, fine, we'll keep on going. Break down here, oh, keep on going, right? Usually when we break down below the 200 daily moving average in a bull market, it's a great opportunity to buy. Great opportunities to buy if we just manage to hold, right? Oh, we broke down, just hold. Oh, we broke down, just hold. Oh, we broke down, just hold, right? Oh, even during 2018, it broke down, just hold. COVID, it broke down, just hold. Even COVID, it broke down, just hold, right? It's only when we started to have this little bit more of a bear market scenario here, with high inflation, the Federal Reserve really playing catch up here. That's really where things start to get a little bit more risky here, as well as, again, the 200 is getting up closer and closer. And so that means at this point, it looks like I'm going to be cautious and say it still looks like we're going to manage to hold it. But if I'm looking at these moving averages, I'm kind of afraid of the 20-week moving average crossing down below the 200 at this point, just because of how aggressive this move is. You know, coming down pretty darn fast right now. And you guess what? This is a 20-week, so every time we have a new week, we replace one of these other weeks. So, okay, right here. We're right there right now. We're about to give up this number on the for the algorithm that kind of figures out what the 20-week moving average is going to be. We're going to give up like a 16,000 candle bar, so to speak, and we're going to replace it with like a 12,000 candle bar. So we are going to continue screaming down here as far as the 20 weekly moving average is concerned. We have time, but again, the last time we had this nasty move of a death cross there on the chart, 2008 financial crisis, a while, and then all the way back here for the dot-com bubble. And then there was already a nasty move before that happened, but the nastiness just kept on coming down. And then we found resistance with the 50-week moving average. Once we broke above the 50-week, all was good in the world. Hallelujah, right? So, but again, a break above the 50, all's good in the world. It was good beforehand a little bit as well, but if you want to be consistent and buy just and only see green, not a bad idea. But that 50 is barely just now starting to curl. So, a little bit of pessimism for your day, if you will. And Bitcoin's getting slammed back down right now too. Geez, thought there was a little bit more excitement there, but somebody really doesn't want this to go up. I mean, I can understand why, because we're all bearish, of course. Somebody's probably just selling some of the Bitcoin off because they're smart. And then, guys, so that's just something. If you want to interpret that into Bitcoin as well, that means maybe we come down below the 200 weekly moving average. I'm not saying that for a certainty, but I'm saying it's a possibility. And, don't freak out that I say it, but I just want you guys to always have an understanding of how bad things can get and how good things get at the same time. That's kind of like an extreme bad, but still a possibility that you guys should be aware of in case you guys are worried, or you guys are putting all of your faith in the 200 weekly moving average, right? I'm putting a lot of faith in the 200 weekly moving average, but if we break down below it, I'm not going to be totally upset if that makes sense, right? Specifically because of how close we are tied to the NASDAQ right now. It's not really the best here. All right. Let's see. Hey, Tony, happy to see you back as well. And hey, Bradford, wondering what your opinion is. Oh, NASDAQ. Yeah, I hope, Bradford, I hope you, hope that was a good enough answer for you as far as the Nasdaq coming back down again here. I think it can, but it's going to be a scary moment when we actually come down to it. I believe we can hold, but at the same time, we got to make sure the economy numbers are looking okay. People want to be buying back in, because if we start breaking down below that, you're going to see every CNBC talking head talking about it like they just discovered it all of a sudden. Usually they kind of don't say stuff until it happens. They don't actually talk about what could be coming, because they want to keep on saying, I'm buying this because I think it's undervalued, right? So let's see right here. Hey, Pavel, 2022 looks similar to 2008. A little bit, though. We haven't had the major disaster yet. You know, like 2028, to me, 2008 was a major financial crisis where mortgages, I'm not going to go too deep into it, mortgages were just kind of infected the entire market because there was so much fraud and corruption with the whole industry, and it all came tumbling down, and the government was there to bail everybody out. Right now, if the economy really failed again, I'm sure this administration, this Federal Reserve, everybody, they would bail it out again. Um, so, got to be careful with it, right? But again, make sure no matter how you guys are trading, make sure to manage your guys' risk here, because if you guys don't like the fact that crypto's down a lot, or you feel like kind of just mad about crypto at the moment, your best bet is just to kind of hold off on buying, or just buying a little bit here, a little bit there. And then whenever you feel like you personally, like the price has gone down enough for you, whatever that level is, even if it's $5,000 for Bitcoin, whatever it is, then that's when you can buy. Just make sure it's within expectations, because you guys could, if you wanted to, you guys could put a 15,000 limit order down to 16,000, 18,000, 20,000, 21,000, 22,000, right? Even though we're at $30,000 right now, you could always have those in place, just because you feel like Bitcoin isn't worth $30,000 right now. You feel like you'd only be buying it around 20,000, 16,000, whatever it is. Just make sure you guys have a plan for it, and make sure you guys are only risking the amount of money you're willing to lose, because this is still a risky business here, and you never know exactly how long crypto is just going to be down and boring for a little bit of time before you see those really big monster pumps. A lot of times, these whales like to shake everybody out, and they're pretty effective on it. They've done it many, many times before, and you see people panic and freak out every single cycle. It's the same thing, guys. It's always the same thing. This is my first time in the bear market cycle, like talking to people about it in YouTube. But I've been in Reddit for a long time, and I see the cycle happen in Reddit all the time, and people are like freaking out, like, man, I just lost my mortgage. I'm just like, what the heck were you doing, right? So that type of stuff is you got to be careful about. Make sure to have a plan. Your emotions about by this point are probably going to be pretty shot, right? Just make sure that you guys are trading appropriately right now, or just slowly buying it if you want to. And hey, Draconian Error, what happened to your channel last week? It was blocked by YouTube, sir. Yeah, so YouTube is having a problem right now. I think they're working on fixing it. So, YouTube, so you guys know, if you guys go to YouTube and you type in Bitcoin live stream and you guys just hit search and then you do one of the filters and you do live, a lot of the videos that you guys will see are scam content, scam videos of Elon, Tesla, whatever it may be, or that crypto conference from last July, right? Well, YouTube is trying to algorithmically, with like an AI, get rid of those channels. Okay, get rid of those channels because they're scam. Well, what's happening right now is they're getting regular crypto streamers like myself and other people I know. They're getting those people blocked as well by accident, and they're starting to realize that. And so I think they're going to tweak it here. But I have a few friends over the last week that were also banned, and I learned about one of them getting banned a couple days ago, and they just got their channel back. So I know they're starting to figure it out. I was one of the first people banned, unfortunately, so they had to wait for the bureaucracy of YouTube to kind of figure itself out. But it's a problem happening with multiple YouTube channels out there right now. I have a friend, Tom. I don't know if I can find him on Twitter. Um, Tom. Oh, not Crown, not Cron. Tom Crown. Oh, geez, what is wrong with me? Uh, there you go. Tom Crown. Here you go. Another Bitcoin streamer here. He's been doing this for a long time. Um, Let me find this here. He posted it a while ago. May 15th? No. Oh, here it is. Okay. See, he posted this yesterday, 19th. Yeah. Please share. My channel has been unrightfully terminated on YouTube for harmful or dangerous practices. This is clearly an error. My channel is humorous and educational. Please fix it ASAP. This is my full-time job for 3 years, right? So it didn't just hit me. It's hitting more and more people. So crypto creators right now, we're all kind of walking on eggshells not to anger this new algorithm up here, right? And then of course he went to Team YouTube, and then they didn't help, like they don't do anything. But he went through the process like I did, and the process got it fixed out. And it seems like they're starting to understand this, so that whenever a channel is kind of blocked or banned right now, it's getting fixed a lot faster. For me, it took a little bit of time, guys, and it definitely was annoying. But yeah, the channel's back, but this seems to be happening to more and more channels. We'll see if things get worse with it. The problem with it is how do I say this? Like, it does, when your channel is banned, it really does really bad damage to your channel. And I'm not talking about just with views. It does really bad damage with the ads that come around it. So for in my example here, guys, you guys know I never shy away from showing you how much money I'm making the channel. I got a little bit of more money this month because of Secret Fish donating some money here. But if I go over here to analytics and I go to revenue, you'll see that the revenue was kind of flat right here. 0, 0, 0. Then it got pumped up with Secret Fish donating. A lot of you guys donating on the day I got back. But if I were to go to one of my videos here, and like this is one of my videos, tutorial on GAN fan trading strategy. Nice and simple. Okay. Now, if I were to go to this video, you can see that for 843 views, I got about $9.91. Okay. And you see, I got an RPM of $12. So for every 1,000 views I get about $12 for 1,000 views. It has yet to get 1,000 views, so it's not at $12 yet, okay? But you'll see right now, last 7 days, I got my video back, but instead, the RPM right now, so for every 1,000 views, I'm only getting 11 cents. When normally, for every 1,000 views, if you go back again, I'm making at the low 280 on up to 38. You know, it kind of ranges in here like an average of 12, basically. So it does lasting damage, and that's really the problem with this algorithm thing going on right now. I think it'll come back eventually, but it's not like it's just an easy problem that goes like, oh man, okay, now I'm back to normal. It's not that simple. YouTube is very, very complex. It's a very big system out there. It takes a lot of work to manage it, I'm assuming. That's why I'm kind of not as angry about it. But at the same time, it really does do harm to YouTube channels overall, and it's something that you guys should be aware of, because if you guys, I'm sure you guys just don't follow my crypto channel. You guys probably follow a lot of people. I'm more of a technical guy that tells you like the ups and downs, the good and the bad, right? From a kind of unbiased perspective. But there are channels out there that, that you guys may follow, that you guys may notice all of a sudden they're not there. If you notice they're not there, I would check on the Twitter accounts and see if they're asking you to retweet and stuff like that. If they do, I would retweet for them, and then hopefully they get their channel back as fast as possible. But it seems to be a recurring problem right now that you guys should just be aware of. So yeah, happened to me. I got banned. Friends got banned. Hopefully they fix it up pretty soon, because it is not good at the moment. Okay. And hey, Brandon, thank you very much for the super chat, my man. Any thoughts on gold and silver? So right now, I don't usually buy too much gold and silver. I still think relative to how bad the market can get if a real bad recession happens, I still think relative gold and silver are pretty cheap. I have a little bit of gold, but I bought it like 6 months ago, back when I was selling all of my stocks out of the market. So it was like 8-10 months ago. It was a while ago. I buy gold usually like when I feel like the market's getting a little bit too nasty. But I still think right now is an okay time to buy gold and silver. But, once things get really, really bad, like from a recessionary standpoint where things are looking really, really ugly and gold's kind of popping off a little bit more, I would really start to sell a little bit earlier than you might think you should. I wouldn't wait for the signs of a recession to be ending to sell my gold or sell my silver. I would be selling it as things get worse and worse and worse. Maybe you see unemployment claims really hit some really bad numbers over the next few months. Maybe you start to see inflation get even worse. That's when I would start to sell my gold and silver, not necessarily just keep on holding on to it. It doesn't mean to sell all of it. I would be starting to scale out of those really bad levels and then having some type of ultimate trailing stop loss on the gold and silver just to protect myself. Because right now, if you go over here to here's a weekly chart. All right, so excuse me. For the past few, years or so, it's just been kind of stagnant. I bought mine kind of way back over here, kind of, and it's hasn't been doing much, right? Hasn't been doing all too much right now. Even when the market's down, gold's been going down as well. So there's kind of this weird cycle, and this is why I'm kind of more hesitant on it, because I was hoping to have some really good times here, kind of hoping that gold might hit like $2,400 or something, because of high inflation, and it might hit some like let me zoom out a little bit more. right? Some like really crazy high levels. So far, it hasn't done that. I'm still holding my gold. I'm still holding it, but you know, I kind of want to see it go up a little bit higher for all the craziness that we're seeing in the market right now. But you know, so far, you know, this since I bought it, it really hasn't been producing too much. I should have probably bought it way down here, but you know, back here in 2016, you know, the market, you know, was doing fine. So I wasn't really too worried about too much risk. And I don't like to hold gold for very extended periods of time. Right, this is like money I could just be using on other stuff, cryptocurrency perhaps. But yeah, I still think gold could come up. I think it's fine. I think you found a nice little dip right now. We're trying to hold the support here from this old trend line, right? You're trying to see, we're trying to hold it. But overall, you know, it hasn't performed the way I wanted it to, considering how bad the market's been doing. I thought more of the fact that, you know, since the market's been kind of looking pretty bad, maybe we might see some good stuff here. But usually, one of my friends that created the algorithm that I use on this channel every now and again, let me see if I can just find it here, invite only scripts. He changed up all of his stuff, so that's why you guys don't see the oscillator there. I haven't actually tested anything out here. Oh, I don't know which any of these are. Chart patterns, candlestick patterns, alternate. Salad chocolate. Uh, Supply, dark pool, dynamic reactor. We don't need the trend lines here. We need both. We need candlestick. Let's make it normal. I don't want to have gradient in there. For low sensitive, or if we find it here. I'm going to show you guys this. So you see we have a little bit of resistance up here, a little bit of resistance. I think we can manage to break back above it. I don't know if we can come all the way back down here to 15. I think the economy is a little too bad for that right now. But I still think probably underneath this red bar right here, or maybe even on this red bar, it's still a decent opportunity to buy gold in particular. It's just not something I do too often. You see we're kind of hitting this high activity zone here, so maybe that means we're going to have a move pretty soon. We're above, I don't know if I gotta take some stuff off here. There's a lot of stuff that happens on this algorithm that this guy made. A lot of stuff that happens. Dark pools, we don't need dark pools. We don't need supply and demand zones. I'll show you the dynamic reactor. Just give it a second to kind of update here while I take a sip of tea. All right. We're above the dynamic reactor. If we can stay above this, I think gold will continue going up here. You know, we tend to not have too much time below the dynamic reactor. Just a few days here, then we keep on going up. A few days here. The last time we were really down for a while was back in 2013, kind of coming out of the financial crisis when things were starting to get look a little bit bright, a little bit better. Then boom, right? So I don't think so. I don't think things are particularly looking much brighter. You guys may think so, but I don't think so. And so we have all those spikes beneath it, but I think even if we come down just for a little bit of time, I still think overall gold is going to be a good buy right now. But we're pretty much just waiting to see how bad things are going to get. Here's the monthly chart for gold. So this goes all the way back to 2018, right? Creeping up here a little bit more. The dynamic reactor for this one is still looking fine. We're still way above it. We can come down a lot more according to the monthly chart, but I don't know if you're really thinking from a monthly standpoint. I think you know, there's still more upside for gold, but so far it's been kind of doing nothing for the past few months, right? If we go, let's look at the last year. I don't know exactly where the year is, so 12, that's 20 bars, 12 bars, okay. For the last 12 months, gold is up about 4%. And you might say that the world's been kind of turned upside down. You've had some spikes, of course, what went up like 17%. But overall, if you're kind of holding for the long term, it really hasn't been performing all too well. If you're looking for something in more in the 2 to 3 month holding period of time, I think that's going to be a little more reliable. We might have a little more of a bump off of that. Might have a little bit more of a bump. But overall, you know, I'd be careful with that one in particular. Gold is kind of not bad, just disappointing right now, okay? But yeah, that's my 2 cents about gold and silver. I have some. I'm so happy to hold them. I think things will get worse in the world, and therefore they will go up. But they seem to not be relying too much on how bad the world is right now, which has been kind of annoying to me as an investor in gold itself. But if you wanted to see these algorithms placed on Bitcoin right now, let's get all this stuff out of here. This is Bitcoin's monthly chart. I don't know if it's actually going to have all this information for this one. It doesn't even have a dynamic reactor for it. Let's go to the weekly chart here very fast. Oh, excuse me. Give it a second. There we go. Bitcoin's down below the dynamic reactor right now. The next level of support this one sees is about $20,000, $19,500, kind of, right there. So, and if things get really, really bad, down to $14,000. And that'd be kind of going back into that scenario if the NASDAQ broke down below its 200 weekly moving average, then you guys could really see, a realistic scenario. Well, Bitcoin really does go back down to $14,000. Now, we'll see if things get really bad or that bad. I don't know right now, just because I think the recession is going to be not too bad or bad. But, if we're all wrong and there's some type of really bad fraud on Wall Street again and everything really starts to unravel, well, then maybe it is going to be really, really bad. But at this point in time, the Federal Reserve sees there's a problem. They're trying to address it. They're doing everything they can to slow down inflation, even if that means kind of slowing down the economy, of course. If they can do this properly, we may end up having a soft landing. I don't think it's going to be a soft landing, but you know what? These people are much smarter than me. Let's see what they got. Right? But last time we were down below the dynamic reactor on this one is COVID. The last time we were below the dynamic reactor was 2018 besides that one, right? So when we broke out above it, good things happened. And then if you want to do that, if you want to add that other moving average we were just talking about a few minutes ago to this chart. So let me get rid no, let me hide this one. Let me add the EMA. I don't want to use the invite-only scripts. EMA, there you go. So you guys can see what I'm talking about here. 200 chart, fine. And let's go back with the orange line thick. That's going to be a big level of resistance for us to break back above. So as soon as you break it back above it, though, I like the 200 exponential more than I like the dynamic reactor here. As far as when we're getting back to having a good time here, we haven't broken down below this yet, though. We haven't broken down below the 200 EMA. We usually do on every big capitulation. We usually do. But so far we have not, which kind of makes me think, okay, we still have some more downside to go here for both the NASDAQ and the Bitcoin markets here. There we go. Okay. Go back over here to the 4 hours so I can fix up the chart I just messed up by deleting everything. Alrighty. Magnet. We got close to breaking out above it. We just got rejected, unfortunately, afterwards. See, we got above it. Then Bitcoin got knocked back down. The next time we come up, it won't be as hard to break out above that. The problem is Ethereum at the same time is having trouble breaking out. It hasn't broken out yet. So if both of these bad boys can break out, then you can be much more optimistic for the rest of the altcoin market for the rest of the day here. What's it here? And hello, Sculpture. The monkeypox breakout. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be anything too big. If it gets worse over the next few weeks, maybe I'll start paying attention to it. But I'm not too concerned about the monkeypox thing right now. And hey, D's, that's a Sony wireless noise canceling headphones, right, Mike? Yes. This isn't the new Sony headphones. I don't really like the style of the new ones. Actually, they kind of had this weird little twig thing right here. I don't like it at all. But yeah, these are the X somethings 4000s or 400 something like that. They cost like a few $100. I don't know what they are. Here, let me show you very fast. Sony X M4s, yeah. They're these bad boys. These. See how it has that nice side piece right here like this? A whole bunch of fancy tools, and I actually love them. But they have the new 5s that cost like $50 more or so. But they have this little twig piece. I don't like the way I don't like those little twig pieces. That's why I stay away from Bose, because they have that weird little piece there. Same with Apple. They just have these weird little twiggy pieces right there, and I don't like them at all. I don't like them at all. So I'm staying with my 1000 XM4s. But yeah, I love these headphones. I have a bunch of sound gear. I have all the types of small little headphones, earphones as well for active wear and stuff like that. I have a lot. My mom likes them when I buy all this stuff because she gets all my hand-me-downs. So my mom right now has sorry, find them right here. See if I can find these right here. The official online shop. Then we'll go back to crypto, I promise. Um, Wireless headphones. Let's just go to all headphones. Their thing is really confusing to me. Is it these ones? Yeah. I bought these ones. I didn't like them, so I just gave them to my mom. So my mom has these when she goes to dialysis and just sitting around for like 5 6 hours getting her blood cleaned. She just gets to wear these premium headphones and just like chilling out with the best music possible. She's so surprised how good headphones can be these days because she doesn't have them besides what the ones I gave her. And the previous headphones I gave her were like like the Sennheiser 6 something HDs, but those are apparently too tight on her ears. But I think the HDs, the 690 HDs, are even better than these ones. But yeah, I'm an audiophile. Why do you think I have the whole? Oh, you guys can see the setup. I got a few $1,000 of stereo systems right there. I spend my money on some really dumb, not dumb stuff that I just like. I love having premium audio in my ears. I've tried really cheap stuff. I've tried more mid stuff like this, and I've tried really expensive stuff. The real expensive stuff, I kind of break it because I overuse it. Like I will wear these headphones whenever I'm going out, and then if I ever need to talk to somebody, all I do is just like, and just like that, I can talk to anybody I want to, and I can hear whatever they're saying, or I can have it set to where I can just hold it like this, and now I can hear my own voice because there's a microphone in the headphones that is playing in my ears because it's still noise canceling. So it's kind of cool. I don't like doing that though because then I can hear myself and I can't. But yeah, these are great headphones. There's no reason to pay for the XM5s. You can if you want to, but $350 for headphones, that seems like a pretty good price to be paying. Paying $400 for headphones, I'm not paying $400 for headphones. I mean, sure, I have $400 pairs of headphones, but they usually come with Sennheiser. Sony headphones that I wear, they're more for modern music like pop and stuff like that, like pop, hip hop, R&B, something like that. Maybe a little bit of jazz. Sennheiser headphones, specifically, I use them for orchestra music, plays type stuff, jazz, that type of stuff. Right now, I'm currently, while I'm listening to you guys, it's kind of at a low volume. While talking to you guys, I'm listening to Kenny G. He has a new album or an album out called New Standards. Just chilling and listening to that. It's like background music for my just from my head, pretty much, because I like to overthink. And since I have really bad ADHD, you guys know how I can be all over the place sometimes. This just kind of calms me down, and I'm in a good mood. I haven't been using these things for a while. I'm using them now more because I forget how much they help me out. But yeah, great headphones. $350. Usually, I would recommend if you guys want to buy expensive headphones or kind of higher end headphones, I really just wait for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. I know it's a while away now, but when they have sales, the sales bring these bad boys down from like $350 all the way to $200. $200 is nothing for this type of quality. Okay, sorry about that. Only Peter Schiff's invests in gold. Exactly. He is really heavy on gold. I would never be as heavy on gold as Peter Schiff. I just like trading it because you can make money off of gold. But to me, gold feels more like Forex, and I don't really trade Forex too much. So I buy gold, but I'm not really trading it. I'm just kind of buying it in these large swings. So, once we get out of this little situation of the economy being bad, probably will take a while, of course, because of how bad everything is kind of leading up to it. The price of gold should really plummet within a few, like a year, 4 year period. That's when you really want to be buying gold. But you just got to leave your money there for so long. And doesn't it just make more sense if you don't want to go directly into the gold market? Why don't you just put that money into the stock market? Because if the stock market's going to be rallying sooner than that, right? It just makes way more sense. Hello. You saying hi? Yeah? On treat? Yeah, you're very polite. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah? Okay. um, and what's it here? And hey, D's, Wall Street wants to profit in any situation, but sometimes they make stupid decisions. The Fed will try to fix Wall Street when they mess up, and the Fed messed up. No, I don't think the Federal Reserve is really going to try to fix the Wall Street. I think they have a pretty solid agreement because so many people kind of go work back and forth between the sectors there. I think the SEC may try to, but I think ultimately the SEC really doesn't have any teeth because remember, if I'm you gotta think about it from a rich person's perspective that knows they can buy votes in the government. Okay, if I'm a wealthy Wall Street sector guy, what's usually gonna my finger is not tasty. There you go. If I'm a wealthy Wall Street guy, I know that I don't need to. What I would do is I would say, "Hey Republicans, hey Democrats," because you can buy them both. There are people in both parties that can be bought. It's you know, some people, yeah, both parties can be bought, right? Or both parties have people inside them that can be bought. There are good people in Congress. I have to believe that in my heart. But basically, they don't say like, hey, they say, hey, don't make really bad laws against us. That's part of it. But then they say, hey, the SEC, the body that really regulates all of us, don't give it a lot of funding. Don't give it too much funding. Because then they can really go after us in an aggressive way. They can pay for all these types of investigations that they want. But if they don't have enough budget to actually, to investigate us, well, then how much can they do? They can only do symbolic type of things like going after people, making a couple announcements, but taking down a small fine at the end of the day, or just getting a fine, right? And if all they're doing is getting just small fines, Wall Street has enough money to pay a fine or two. It's just the way it is, right? And you think about it from other ways as well here. I'm trying to think of an example if I could tell you guys. SEC poor? No. SEC, maybe this is it. No, it's not okay. So basically, there's some stories of the SEC, like where they don't even have like free coffee in the morning some days because they don't have the budget for it because it's all going towards investigations. Imagine that. A bureaucracy in America doesn't have enough money to pay for all this, like the free coffee and teas that you would expect in any corporate office building in America. That's kind of the stuff you hear about. Now, it's not every department within the SEC. Some departments are funded better than others, but still, there are departments within the SEC that don't have enough money to just get coffee in the morning for their staff. Right? So that shows you how effective Wall Street has been in lobbying Congress. And guys, it kind of transcends parties as well because it happens under Republican administrations, it happens under Democratic administrations. I think the term today is like establishment versus populist. I think is the kind of the framework of it. I haven't been watching enough news lately. I'm sorry, but I think that's the way it's kind of structured in modern media. So there's like the populist movement that's kind of like you suck establishment. We want to kick all of you guys out. And then there's an establishment that still has support from their constituents saying, hey, our way is good. It has problems, but it's still okay. Right? So, they're trying to figure everything out, but of course, we're still left with the pile of what that is our current system of enforcing Wall Street right now, and that's not going to change anytime soon from what I can see. It seems like it's the status quo. Uh, see. And hey, Michael. And oh, hey, Dogecoin Weekly Report. Cute Doge. Oh, cute dog. Yeah. His name is Loki. He's a white German Shepherd. He likes to play a lot. Usually when I'm streaming, he likes to just pop up and say hello to everybody. Uh, and buy Bitcoin, not gold. Exactly. That's what I think is probably going to be a better investment. I still like owning gold because I talk to people like. So first of all, it does make me money in the long term. It does, but there's something when I'm talking to a bunch of old people, which I do during just my day to day life when I'm kind of going out and vacation stuff like that. There's always some old person that I talk to who's really nice, and he's like, "Do you own gold?" And I'm like, "I do." And he's like, "You're a smart young man," and I'm like, "Yes, I am." Helps with that type of relationship. You want another treat? Let's get you. Your breath kind of smells, doesn't it? Let's get you a little mint bone. Well, mint. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. All right, he left again. He just goes to run off into my room to eat it. Oh, what's it here? And hey, yeah, guys, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. I really, really do appreciate you guys. And somebody just told me something. Oh, Daniel, there you go. Hey, Mike, got some Elon and Spelt. There you go. Those are the coins I've been loading up on myself. I'm really hoping they can do well on this next good altcoin cycle here. Buying them steadily. I'm going to be buying more and more and more of them. I've been buying them actually the past like month or so. So my first few buys have actually dropped down a lot, but overall, the average is pretty low because I knew we were going to drop, or I thought we were going to drop. I didn't really know, but And how, Mike, did I see the huge inverse head and shoulders on the 15-minute chart if you zoom out? It must be more of a short-term thing, I'm assuming here then. I see the double bottom that really, from yesterday's stream where we found a bottom here. Um, you might be thinking about shoulder, head, shoulder, broke above that level right there, in particular this, and boom. So yeah, it was a head and shoulders, but unfortunately we kind of just fizzled out of it. Unfortunately, it's kind of a weird way to look at it too. I mean, not you, but just how it ended up happening. I think because it happened right at a level of resistance, and the way again, whales are playing their games right now. In theory, Bitcoin should be all the way up here, like 31,000, humming slowly around to 32,000. But we're just having some trouble with the whales. I think what's most likely going to happen here, guys, if the Nasdaq does fine tomorrow, we're just going to have to do a slow grind here. It seems like for whatever reason, there are whales right now that really want to keep us down below this level. This trend line here, I don't think they can succeed right now. There's a lot of people that want to buy crypto. That everybody's just too afraid because we all know we're coming back down. But I think people are going to be willing to do a little bit of a fun day trade here. Remember, guys, we talk about this all the time. If you guys go over to Twitter, and if you just kind of search for Twitter for Bitcoin, you'll see people talking about how Bitcoin's found its bottom. I don't know if I can find any here. Right here. This is a TA analyst. He currently has 62,000 followers. And he's saying Bitcoin found its bottom right here, and now it's only up from here because of some circles on some lines here. Every time we break down below this line, we find some good stuff happening. Right, so let me see. I don't know if he has any other technicals here. No, trying to find something else. New cycle bull run. I don't know. He draws circles here like we stopped there, but if you look at the line and kind of zoom in, we came well down below this line and we kept on going. We're going down well below this line right here. So, people can make stuff up and make charts look like whatever they want to. I'm trying to go back in time a little bit here. This was May 7th. Oh, this was just a couple days ago. Uh, what is this? I don't know actually what this line is here. I wish I knew, but he's saying this line represents the bull run is starting, even though we've come down below this line multiple times here, right? But yeah. So you're going to see people though that believe in this, and they're going to buy in, and you will see some FOMO if we do start to have a little bit more of a pump. Of course, whales have enough money to just slam everybody back down into reality because the Nasdaq really is controlling Bitcoin's market price right now. But right, but at the same time, if we have a big move up, what's going to be the cause of that from a Nasdaq perspective is look at this. The Nasdaq is resting right on top of a Fibonacci level, just waiting to tap on it, just tapping on it right now. And so far, we haven't closed down below it. We've come down below the Fibonacci level, but to this day, it's been green, close above it, green, close above it. We came close the other day, came close today, excuse me, but we did not close below it. If we close below this, that's when you're going to start to see another, see how it closed down below this Fibonacci? Resistance, 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 and then ultimately buyers gave up, and we started to fall. We may have something similar where maybe we just get choppy, 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 then we fall down, or maybe it'll be a little bit fast this time. Nobody knows, but we know once we start closing down below this Fibonacci level, Nasdaq's going to go down, S&P's going to be coming down at the same time, Dow, and then what else? Bitcoin. So, I want to have positive stuff to talk to you guys about. I promise. It's just not the way I see the market right now. We could definitely have a short-term bounce, yes. overall, I still think we're in a bearish situation because of the overall economy, the way I think the stock market needs to come back down as well. But again, you guys know I'm buying crypto right now as a hedge, just in case we don't. This is the bottom of some sorts, and 26,000 was really the bottom. I don't think it is, but I always have a hedge against it just in case. All right, let me see right here. And hey, Michael, lighting up 2-0 on the Panthers now. What's going on with the Panthers? Uh, Hey, D's, Mike, that's what old people told me as well when I said I have some gold. Exactly. See, I plan out everything. I planned it all out. I planned it all out. So, for some reason in my life, you guys know I grew up, let's just say pretty poor. I won't say how, you guys know how bad I was. I grew up in some poverty. But as I got into college and as I met more people, somehow I became friends with just wealthy people over time. And it started off because I went to private school for middle and high school on a scholarship because obviously a family making like $18,000 a year is not going to be paying $28,000 a year for middle school tuition, right? I don't think we were making that type of money. But basically, I kind of learned how to talk to like the really wealthy people, and they're not like really too different, right? But I learned how to talk to them properly, and so when I started meeting their kids and their families, their parents started wanting me in their lives with their kids because I was a good influence. I was the guy that stopped their kid from doing something really stupid because I understood the practicality of getting in trouble. And I got beat enough as a kid to be like, okay, well, no, you don't want to do this. Trust me. But there still is the old school thinking in the market. And right now, the old school thinking has a lot of the money and capital. There is new school coming up, and don't get me wrong, they have a lot of capital as well. But the old school definitely controls where the majority of the money is going. Over the next few decades, for a lot of us that's still living around there, hopefully I'm still living in a few decades, right? You're going to see all that millennial money start flowing into cryptocurrencies a lot more than what it is now. But even in the next 5-10 years, you're going to see a lot of that money still flowing in there because all the capital. If there's a chance to make money, me as an investor in any one of these banks, big institutions, hedge funds, whatever, I would want some exposure to that money making opportunity. And I think that's what you're seeing right now. Not a full on embracement of crypto, but a feeling like, hey, I've invested in your corporation and you guys are ignoring this cash cow over here. Are you guys dumb? Should I make my money? Should I move my money somewhere else? What's going on here? And that's why you're starting to see places like Goldman Sachs, Chase, Wells Fargo. They're starting to slowly hire some of these staff that understand the blockchain and crypto markets and stuff like that, so they themselves can make products to service other investors or just the general public to find a way to make money off it. There's a cash cow here. It doesn't have to be just investing in crypto. There's the blockchain, whatever. There's a way to monetize that, and these guys are going to be paid. These guys are going to be finding the best talent there is to try to find out what that money making weight is, right? And hey, it's happy to see you back. What's on right here? 5 a.m. comes fast, and thanks again for the stream tonight, Mike. Hey, Danny, have a great rest of your night, everybody. Have a great rest of your night. What else do we have right here? I think Bitcoin's still on a good stage right now to still go up a little bit more. Ethereum itself is going to be running into a little bit of resistance for the next few hours, but, I'm not too concerned about it. Do you guys have any questions about any particular coins right now, or the NASDAQ, or the Dow, or anything like that? The NASDAQ is actually pretty clean as far as how these breakdowns are working out. As far as the fibs. Here for the S&P, not nearly as graceful. Well, it's actually working, but we haven't come as down as far for the S&P. The S&P is still a little bit above its Fibonacci level. The Dow is still the same, still above its Fibonacci level quite well here, depending on the lows that you're using, right? COVID lows. We still have a little bit further to go down. I think overall, maybe the Dow just comes back down to $29,000, $30,000, but the Nasdaq in that same time frame definitely comes down a little bit more. So if I were to pull down the Dow, that's like another 4 or 5%. I could see the Nasdaq coming down, underperforming the Dow, underperforming the S&P 500 over the next few months here, next few weeks. But we'll have to see what happens after that, of course, because if things get really bad, we're going to have to see some type of brighter outlook to really raise the market. Because remember, the market is just the market is telling us what it thinks is going to happen over the next few months, how bad it's going to be. But once we have better guidance coming out of companies, you'll start to see the stock market rise well before the economy itself on the ground for Main Street is actually much better, right? So right now, Main Street is suffering a little bit, but market says, hey, Main Street's going to suffer a lot more, so prices are going down right now. once the main street is really in the suffering mode and we're all kind of like, oh man, I can't even afford a loaf of bread anymore. Oh my God, there's no grain, whatever. But then once we see, hey, Safeway comes out, Target comes out, hey, we're going to have bread again pretty soon, things are looking a little bit brighter, then you're going to start to see their stocks kind of go up in a very simple way of looking at it, right? So that's what we're waiting for right now. But right now, we still don't have that positive outlook, which is why a lot of people, CNBC people, just everyday crypto people, everyday market people on YouTube, TikTok, wherever, we all kind of feel like the market itself has to come down a little bit more. The only people that think we found a bottom are usually the people that need traffic to their site in order to make money for a living. You guys know I trade first and that YouTube is second. There's no way I can live off of, how much money did I make this month off of YouTube? There's no way I can live off of $1,200 a month. There's no way I can do it. Not a way. I would like to be able to. Maybe in Nicaragua I could, but I wouldn't have enough money to move down to Nicaragua with $1,200 a month. That'd be like, I don't know how many months of saving for this plane ticket in first business class. Jeez. But yeah, there's a lot of pessimism around the market, and it's rightfully so because of how bad everything is right now. I don't think many people thought just like a year ago, or even 2-3 years ago with COVID, how bad this current economy would be coming out of COVID, how bad everything would be coming out of COVID when everybody was supposed to be really excited, right? Hey, Draconian Era, we trade for bread. There you go, right? A lot of people are going to be trading for bread here pretty soon if we don't get this wheat crisis under control. And hey, Pavan, how high do you think XRP will be after XRP will pump after the case is closed? I mean, probably anywhere from 20 to 30% when the case is closed, and if they have a good result coming from it, which I think it will be. And then afterwards, it'll find its original price. So, if Bitcoin's going down and XRP has good news, XRP will have a crazy pump, and then it will come all the way back down to match Bitcoin's price again. If Bitcoin is going up at that time and XRP closes the case on good news, you'll see the price of XRP skyrocket up sky high, then continue going up for maybe a few days or so. But it really depends on what Bitcoin's doing. If Bitcoin's going up or sideways, good times for XRP. If Bitcoin's crashing or whatever when the news comes out, XRP should have a really big boom, but ultimately it should have a big tumble still afterwards because it's going to have to come back down to Bitcoin's level. Every coin always does, unfortunately. Sometimes it just takes a little bit less time than others. And hey, Bideford, I'm holding off on buying calls for Tesla until mid 650s now, or should I hold off until there's a turn around in the NASDAQ? So personally, I would probably hold off a little bit more. Again, not financial advice, but I would probably hold off a little bit more unless you're trying to play a bounce. So right now we're kind of hanging around the NASDAQ is hanging around its Fibonacci level. And if you were taking a quick look here at, let me just pull up Tesla right here. So you guys know a few, over a month. When did I tell you guys about Tesla dropping down? Tesla fell well down below my expectations. Let's just go to videos. No, this is a while ago. A month ago, I told you guys Tesla was going to head down to 782. We stayed there for just a second, but what I was going off of, this Bideford, was the Fibonacci levels. Here's the weekly chart. I don't remember exactly which Fibonacci levels I used here, but no, it wasn't this one. Whatever. But you remember that video. Right now, we're actually at we're at a Fibonacci level being held right now. So if you think we might hold these levels and NASDAQ might not fall too much, this is still a good buying opportunity for calls. I still think it's kind of risky because of the stuff we just talked about a while ago. If we go over to the daily chart, though, we're kind of holding it, right? We're holding it barely. Oh, log is not. I was wondering why the chart looks so freaking weird. All right, well, now I got to adjust this all over again. Is it weekly going to hold up here? We'll just use the weekly. No, I mean, that's not even holding up. Fine, we'll get out of a log here just to kind of show you what I'm talking about. We do have a slight level of support here. You're gonna be hoping for a little bit of a bounce happening next week, right? That's what you're gonna be hoping for. But ultimately, if the market does get as bad as everybody thinks, Tesla could definitely just come back down to 550. It could definitely come down pretty hard here. Nothing has been safe from these moves, not even Amazon. So I'd be watching over the next few days to kind of see what happens if Tesla breaks down and closes down below, let's say, the level of I think this level is 695. Yeah, 695. That may be an opportunity to buy some puts for Tesla here. But again, if Tesla's breaking down below its Fibonacci level right here, then you're most likely going to see the Nasdaq falling down below its Fibonacci level right here as well. So same type of concept. Just because there's so much weight involved in Tesla right now, right? But yeah, so I'd be careful with it right now. Personally, I like day trading Tesla since it's gotten a lot cheaper, of course, over the past few weeks. But let's put log on here. Let's delete everything on this chart. Let's go back to the weekly chart. And let me see if I can find out which. No, I was using this level right here as the fib levels because that's the only way I could see it hitting 572 or 7. Yeah, 782 right here on this Fibonacci level. We stopped there for a day, then we just kept on freaking plummeting. So there we go. But if you want to look at, no, it wouldn't be right to use this just because. Well, let me see if this actually worked. Because remember, we've had a few splits here with Tesla, so it doesn't mess up the charts just a little bit when you're looking in long term. So maybe you find some support. You could play a bounce off of $630. That might be a good opportunity there. That's if you're going off of the COVID lows to the highs we just saw when it hit like 1257 or so before he started selling off some for business opportunities like Twitter and other stuff. But yeah, so going to be interesting to watch right there. You do have a level of support down here at 630. That's why I might be more inclined to buy calls. Otherwise, you're going to try to be going off of specific levels, like not this one, maybe this one right here. We held there for a little bit, got choppy, held there. So maybe instead of 630, maybe looking at 586. You have a few opportunities, and 586 matches up with the support level that we're watching over here. On the weekly chart, we're heading for a death cross here as well, so that means kind of more bad movement coming in the future as well for Tesla. So that'll be interesting to see. The last time Tesla had a death cross on the weekly chart was April 1st of 2019, and after the death cross, it came down a heavy. Of course, it wasn't at $36 but we had a split, so it looked like that now. But after this death cross here, a bad thing happened. So death cross happened here, kind of went down. Death cross happened here, came down. Death cross happened here, came down. Not a lot. It doesn't always crash, but it seems like every time we have a death cross with the 20 and 50 weeks, now that I'm looking at it, it doesn't really bode well for Tesla's stock price here. And that kind of, again, matches up with how bad we think the economy may be over the next few weeks here. And we may actually have that dip down where Tesla goes down to the mid to low 500s, maybe even a little bit lower than that. But let's just say for now, around the mid 500s, with an opportunity to have a daily bounce off of the 630 level in particular, if you wanted to hold for maybe 1 or 2 days. Or if we're kind of closing, if at the end of the day we're really close to that level, maybe you want to buy some calls at the end of the trading day, anticipating a bounce for the following day, and just selling those calls half that in the following day and half the day after that, if you will. Sorry if that, yeah, you can kind of figure out that plan. But yeah, that's how I would probably look at it. But right now, I would just have that kind of in the back of my head, having some notes on my chart. You can have notes on the side over here, data windows, whatever, on TradingView. Or what I like to do is I just like to have a little bit of a Word document, just kind of giving some of my thoughts. Or if you guys use only one chart for Tesla, you guys can just simply say, hey, fib levels, 630 or mid 500s. Oh, yeah. Make sure to keep track for call opportunities. So you can keep track of it that way. But yeah, that's what I'm personally looking at, because right now I see Tesla and I see something that can definitely come down a little bit more with bouncing opportunities. But overall, I think people are going to be buying long-term puts on this. Yeah, that's probably what I would say for Tesla right now. Unless there's some big news that comes out. But Tesla already had earnings. They don't have earnings coming out until, August? So, kind of iffy there. Kind of iffy there right now. And hey, Pavan, Walmart crashed 25%. Yep, retail is getting hit hard. There's only a few companies are doing well right now, and Walmart is not one of them, and Target is definitely not one of them right now. And hey, Bideford, yes, it was the mid 500s, not 650s. Thanks, thank you, Mike, for all your insight again. Refreshes my brain. Yeah, no worries. There was tons of opportunities to find those levels, and there was tons of Fibonacci levels in there. But usually on those Fibonacci levels are the opportunities where you see those daily bounces. The weekly charts are pretty accurate as far as coming down, down, down. But on the days, you can definitely have those little bounces there, and those will net you some really good profits if you get them right on the bounce, right? Uh, like as far as like what am I looking at here? The Nasdaq on the daily, it's really choppy right now, but on the weekly chart, on the weekly chart, this one actually doesn't look too good. It's because of how nasty the market is and how the market's not following all the technicals. But again, let's see if we can find a Fibonacci level where we actually hold that level right there. So let me just move this around. We have a dip right there. That didn't work. A dip right there. A dip right here. And then right here, you can see we held right there. When we broke down, we came into contact here, held, tap, got rejected, held, tried to hold, came down, broke down here, and now we're coming back down to the negatives, and that's around for the Nasdaq around 11,248. So there's a whole bunch of Fibonacci levels that are accurate, but you kind of have to understand, that's on the weekly chart. Go to the daily chart. You got to see which one works the best for the daily chart here. I like to go macro, and you guys know when I tell you guys about usually about calls and puts, I normally tell you guys you're going to be holding for a week or so. That's because I'm usually using the weekly Fibonacci levels here. But again, depending on what monitor you have, you can always open this up, and you guys can just play around with these Fibonacci levels. Don't be afraid to spend some time just kind of going back down. Well, is that one working more for the days? Or just move it around a little bit. Don't even care what you're looking at here. Like, don't even look at this part. Just look at the lines over here and see. Well, this one, no, not yet. This one right here a little bit, not yet. This one right here, a little bit, but not yet. Let me drag this out a little bit longer. That's why I don't like doing this too much because it does take time. I'll come back over here. Right here a little bit more. And you get to find some support around here, then we get choppy, then we break down. So maybe ultimately we come down to 11,000. That's the same one as another one, just different Fibonacci level there. But back down to that $11,000 level. So you can play around with this a lot. The daily is just much more tricky because it just doesn't vibe well with anything. And that's mostly because these indexes are made up of a whole bunch of stocks. So if one stock has really bad earnings and other things are doing okay, well, it's going to over exaggerate it on the actual index. So play around with it a little bit. It's a lot easier when it comes to stocks, I promise, than it is with indexes, just because, like I just told you guys. But yeah, it is a little bit tricky. An impulse chain jet clap. Any tasty limit orders on Matic? How far do you think it could break down? Also, any thoughts on Volt Nobi? I don't know anything about Volt Nobi, but I can help you out with Matic here. So as far as Matic is concerned right now, it is in a little bit of a bad situation, just like every other crypto. We have a little bit of support right here around 62 cents or so. We're a little bit above that right now, just a little bit. Now, what I'm looking here as far as the next level of support on this one, there's a few. We have this level right here at 26 cents. That kind of seems kind of extreme. If Bitcoin were to take a big move down here, like to 20,000 or so, I don't know if it would fall like 50. I don't know how much would drop is that. Yeah, like 61%. I don't know if we're going to fall down that much here if Bitcoin falls on another leg. What I do think may happen, though, is if we go over here to some of these fib levels. Let's see what matches up with this one. No. I guess that's what we're looking for. Maybe. Man, there's really not much good going on there, is there? Start of the trend. Let me go to the daily here to see if any of this actually worked out for us. Oh, fib level's not really working for this one as well. All right, I'll drag it up to go more short term here. Is it showing up more on the weekly? Not even here on the weekly too much. I mean, a little bit, but not really much there. I could see us dropping another 50% on Matic, maybe another 40, 50%, kind of leading us back into the 30 to 40% territory. I'd think more high 30s, low 40s is as far as I can see that going, unless we kind of go way down below 20,000 on Bitcoin's level, which again can happen, but it doesn't seem as likely to happen right now. Right now, though, I'm surprised. Yeah, there's not really. Hell, let me just delete all this other stuff here. Let me get rid of some of the stuff I don't need. Really trying to find a Fibonacci level that's working. There was a few that were working the short term, but now the long term, this is going to be a little more of a pain for us. Drag it. I guess we just have a little bit right here. Yeah, 27 cents is where that next Fibonacci level is, coming back down here to support. So it does match up with the support level. You just may see Matic. It's been kind of coming down a little bit, but you may actually just see Matic have a complete fall off, which has been happening with other coins. It just seems Matic hasn't had such a terrible time. But let me verify that before I actually say anything else. So from all-time highs to where we are now, Matic is down about 77%. Let's go to something else like an ADA, kind of around the same market cap, if you will. 77%, 83%. Yeah, so it has been overperforming against some of these other coins with a higher market cap. What else can we look at? XRP, 78%. That's kind of okay right there, yeah. So I think it might have a little more of a dump. You might think about it in terms of more of an FTM or a mana. So FTM, see how it's kind of it was doing okay. When it finally broke down, then it started to get a little bit more aggressive here. From this line right here. Tapped. This one was perfect. Hit the Fibonacci level exactly. I wish freaking. I wish Matic was able to do that. But I think it's just because Matic had its own little kind of story over last year. If you guys remember, Matic was really just going off on its own while Bitcoin was going sideways. Matic was just pumping and pumping and pamping. Even throughout last year, you guys heard me saying, well, Matic is just doing Matic things because it was just kind of separated off of Bitcoin for a little bit of time. I think that's why you're seeing it kind of get so choppy, because it reattached itself to Bitcoin, and now it's not really honoring so many of its technicals like it was before. But I think it's plausible for Matic to come down like another 50%, it looks like. Now, we'll see if the market, like people will actually allow that to happen, if they really buy it up, but it does seem like Matic has a big drop-off point from the Fibonacci levels in particular. I tried to find something better for it, but didn't look that good. Let me try one other thing here. Let's go to the daily chart. Maybe I can just find some type of dip that I missed. Yeah, maybe we have another pit stop somewhere around here at 43 cents or so. That's like another 30% down. But I think if Bitcoin were to go all the way down to 20,000 and we're at 30,000 right now, that means Bitcoin's coming down like another 30% or so, which means in theory, Matic could definitely come down another 50% just because of how much these coins come down. So in theory, yeah, this thing could really take a beating and go all the way down to like the 30-cent range, maybe even the high 20-cent range. So yeah, now I look at it even more and kind of put that in perspective, how far Bitcoin can come down. Yeah, it's possible. Are there any indicators that work well with the 1 or 5 minute charts? You can use the RSI. You can use the oscillator if you want to. Normally, what I'm using on those specific charts is I'm using volume, RSI, and some moving averages. Mostly just trend lines at those levels. And then what I'm using with those trend lines though is I'm usually. You turn my music off by here. Headbutt my ear again so you can turn the music on. No. Okay. Well, anyway, what I tend to do when I'm trading on TradingView or any type of software, I normally have a 1 minute chart, a 5 minute chart, a 15 minute chart, and then maybe something else if I really need it. But usually, if I'm going to be like doing day trading, when I'm just trading for like a few minutes in or out, or if you're scalping, I normally would have a 1 second, a 1 minute, a 5 minute, and then I would alternate between the 15-minute chart, the hour chart, and the 4 hour in that last little quadrant just to kind of see what's going on. I just want to have it set up and like see kind of what, from a macro point of view, can I have a nice surge here, and would it be okay with, is there any major levels of resistance I'm coming very close to, I guess I would say. But yeah, most of the time it's just trend lines and watching Bitcoin. So I have a large monitor in front of me right now, but it's kind of like the window is smushed down, so it's actually showing up properly for you guys. But if I were to open this up here, and I don't know, I haven't set up this chart yet. All I have is a few indexes. But if I were to have this full, it would look something like this, like that. So like 8 charts here. I could have a 1 second, 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 of whatever coin I'm looking to trade. And this 15 would alternate between a 15, an hour, and a 4 hour, just so I can see the macro view of what I'm looking for. And then from there, like here, let me see if I can do this for you very fast. Watch list, YouTube. Let's just go to, what are we looking at right now? Mana is around a cheap price. So we've got Mana here, second, Mana minute, Mana 5, Mana 15. And then from here, I would have some Bitcoin charts as well. And I wouldn't have the minute charts on here for Bitcoin. I would have a 5, a Bitcoin 15, a Bitcoin hour, and a Bitcoin 4 hour. And then from here, I would just do some basic technicals, kind of like a one-time thing. Hey, because you're not going to be looking 15 minutes. Time passes by pretty slow. You can only be in the trade for a few minutes if you're scalping or if you're just day trading, right? In and out, you want to have some trend lines here. Add some trend lines here if you really want to. Not really much there on the 5. On the hour, of course, we can always add that one trend line right there to see if we're breaking above it. Over here on the Bitcoin, on the 4 hour chart. And then again, same type of trend line here, but you just want to see if there's anything else going on that you don't see. And then from there, you just kind of zoom in on here. Okay, well, I see some volume kind of accumulating on Mana. We're still in this little bit of an uptrend. Look here on the 5. And then you'd be using all of this information to make the trade. I know it looks very cluttered right now because I have all my monitors kind of squished down here. But, you want to have it some type of simple way like this. And then depending on which chart you're mainly trading off of, then from there, you could add some extra stuff onto it. You might add an oscillator, or you might add an RSI. If you're day trading stocks, you may add a VWAP on top of it. So you can add a bunch of stuff to it. But I'm usually looking at these 3. And the 15, I want to go to the 4 hour as well, because the 4 hour on this chart is going to look a lot different than the 4 hour on Bitcoin's chart, right? Bitcoin's been going sideways for the most part on the 4 hour chart. Mana had a huge surge. So you can see it's a little bit overbought compared to Bitcoin right now, which means I might be more inclined to short this. And the long term, if I was to do like a multi-day trade, shorting is going to be better for me on this one. But in the short term here, you can see it's getting squeezed below the, on the 4 hour chart, the 20 moving average and the 50 moving average, meaning it's going to have a big move here pretty soon. And I might try to time that up with something on the 15-minute chart, the 1 hour chart, or something else like that, right? I see I have some support right there. I have some support right there. If I were to draw a line right there, you can do a lot of stuff. But as far as indicators, it's usually the RSI and moving averages. And then on top of that, just a lot of trend lines and kind of just basics of, okay, what am I looking at? Which way is it we're looking right here? Are we bullish, bearish for the day? If we're bullish for the day like we are kind of right now, with an opportunity for the NASDAQ to go up a little bit more tomorrow, because we're at NASDAQ's at a Fibonacci level of support, going to be hoping we can bounce off of it, right? Like we normally do off of Fibonacci. We bounce once or twice, then we eventually fall down below it. You'd be trying to long anything right now and hoping for a nice little pop in the market if you're looking to do scalp or just go day trading. But you want to have all that information there just to kind of have a full picture. You don't have to have all the information there, but I personally like to. But again, I have multiple monitors. I can have all this stuff on my charts, and I can still be playing video games over here, over there, everywhere, right? But what do you call it? You want to play it safe, right? You want to play it safe. And at the same time, Bitcoin's at its own resistance level right now. So if you're making that trade, it might be better to wait for the NASDAQ to open up. You got to think about so many things. And it sucks that Bitcoin's kind of tied up to NASDAQ right now, but eventually it won't be. And that'll be a really fun time just to be looking specifically at altcoin prices versus Bitcoin prices. And hey, Draconian Doggo, He's cute. I don't know where he went. He's probably eating a treat or just kind of chilling out in my bed. He likes to just sit on my bed and wait for me to come back in there. Um, what's my opinion on Algo and H bar? I don't know much about 8 bar H bar, but I have some Algo just for a long term hold. I think it'll do fine. They have a good utility, but it's more of a long term hold. I'm not really expecting anything great from it anytime soon. And hey, General Brandon, can we get some possible fib retracement levels on Doge real fast? Yeah, those aren't going to be too hard. Doge has been pretty interesting. We talked about Doge for the past. Well, we've been talking about Doge for a long time, right? But we were talking more about Doge over the past few weeks. As soon as we were talking about, as soon as it breaks down, it's going to catch up to everything else, and it did catch up to everything else really, really fast here. But let's get rid of a lot of technicals on Dogecoin right now. No, we can't do that. We can't do that. This is part of the 24-hour stream here. I know there's not really much to be seeing. But as far as the Fibonacci levels on Dogecoin, let's do this. Let's go to the weekly chart. Dogecoin right here. Okay. So it depends on the Fibonacci level you're looking for. I'll just give you a few. You can see we held this one pretty nicely. We're getting close to this Fibonacci level as well. The next one you're looking at from a very grand scale of things is about 0.0635, a little bit below 6.5 cents, okay? A little bit below 6.5 cents. Now, if we're moving this up a little bit more to the start of this little bit of a rally, let's see if it held up here at all. Held up a little bit, broke down a little bit more. We're holding there now, basically. You might see some support around here about 0.0435. So a little bit below that level we just talked about, okay? Keep moving it up a little bit more to the next little spike. Didn't really work out too well here. There was some support there, but not too much. Let's go here to these lows. Found some support, some resistance, some support, some resistance, some support. Not really much support here, some support here. Not really much support there, some resistance there. So it works a little bit at a time. You might, when that next level of support is going to be 0.07, a little over 7.5 cents. So those are a few levels you can look at. I'd be more inclined to go off of the one that's been the long-term one in particular. Oops, not that one. First one we used. I'd be more inclined to say, hey, maybe around 0.628, or I guess I didn't do it as exact. Or if we're going on really low from there, maybe 0.03, so like 3 cents or so, right? So it depends on which levels you're looking at there, but you can find some good ones just by kind of dragging it around. Found some support there. Found, a little bit of support there, but not ultimately too much. Some resistance there. So you could also look at 0.043 as well. So there's some opportunities for you there. Anything under 5 would probably be a good opportunity for a long-term hold for Dogecoin. But this thing could definitely just have a major sell-off again, and it'll make a lot of people more depressed. But it'll be a buying opportunity nonetheless here. Back over there. I should probably add some technicals onto this one right now. Let's go over to the 1 hour chart as far as Dogecoin is concerned. There you go. Falling wedge, we should be able to break out of that. If we go, if Dogecoin was doing its own thing, we would be able to break out of this. So that's kind of another reason, like maybe we can have a bullish day, but of course the Nasdaq, yuck. But hopefully we come back to this tomorrow and we're breaking above it. You see on the hour chart, we're looking closer and closer to having some nice golden crosses here, where the 20s are about to pop up like I did before. A little bit of a stronger move. Again, golden cross, a little bit of a move here on the hour chart. I wouldn't call this part caused by this though. But at least over the past few hours as we've been consolidating, nice moves. Go over here to the 4 hour chart. We just had a golden cross where the 20 moving average crossed above the 50. That mainly did some good stuff. The last time the 20 crossed over the 50 for Dogecoin was over here in April 25th. It's been a minute, right? So, and what happened after that happened? Well, nothing. Dogecoin went through one of its pops, and that's what caused it. Now we're kind of going organically. When's the last time it happened organically? I'd ask. right there. A nice move. Happened there, but nothing really happened. So could be more of a mixed bag with Dogecoin, but overall, since Bitcoin looks a bit more bullish here right now, just for today, short term, you can see definitely Dogecoin having a nice little pop here. Price target of maybe 9 cents at the max, 9.5. So look, let me see if I can find those numbers for you. 0.093, then 0.096, maybe 10 cents if you're really lucky there. If you're really lucky there. All right. What are my thoughts on Luna? Is there any hope? There's hope for Luna. It's a long shot. I would not invest any money into Luna unless you're willing to see it go to zero, and you cannot be phased by it going to zero. You can be a little upset, like, oh man, maybe next time, like you have to treat it like you put that amount of money on black or red on the roulette table, and if it goes your way, awesome, you make some money. If it doesn't go your way, you got to be okay. Ah, man, maybe next time. You got to have that same great mentality with it. Otherwise, Luna is not going to be something you want to invest into. Luna has just been going down for a while now over the past couple of days after having a really nice little rally. But right now, Luna's up 6% today, so maybe that's a little bit better. But it's a long shot. Don't put more money than you're willing to lose. I would consider this with the same amount of money I would be willing to do on a couple bets in the casino market. I like to bet, a couple $100 on roulette, throughout the whole period of the night that I'm there. If I'm really having fun with friends, maybe a couple thousand, but that's rare. So I tossed a few $100 into Luna. It's still up right now because I bought it a while ago, but you know it's come down drastically over the past few couple days, right? So you have to be willing to watch that money go down to zero if you want to buy Luna, and you can't be phased by it. Okay, you're gonna have to just buy and hold. It's a really hard thing to do when you see something that volatile, because any short pop you want to sell, any big dip you want to sell. So if you're okay with that kind of thought process, you can definitely do it. Or if you want to sell on a small pop for 5 or 6% profit, you can definitely do that. You can definitely stick your money and run. That's a smart way to do it. But a lot of people are going to be buying Luna for like a hold for like days, months, or years, just to see if it ever comes back up to good levels. It's going to be a big risk, a big risk, but it can pay off. But you have to understand, with that higher risk comes a great opportunity to make money. But still, there's a great risk there. And hey, Dolphin, do I have any good plays? Right now, just try to watch to see if we can break out above these lines here and hold up for as far as Bitcoin. You could have some good leverage plays here as far as BitGet and KuCoin is concerned. Even like Binance US, whatever exchange you guys have, you guys could find a good play by tomorrow morning, since Bitcoin at this moment in time looks like it wants to break out above them. But probably better for leverage plays. As far as the NASDAQ, just the stock market, there's not really much I'd be trading there right now. Most of the options plays that I've been using in the market, they've all been day trades so far, because day trading's been very, very easy in the market right now. Like basic here. Let me see if I can find something for you. I only did a little bit of trading today because Loki was being a little bit of a brat. He wanted to go out and play. But if I go over here to, what's a better way to do this? Is there a better way to do this for you guys? Maybe. So here, tomorrow for Apple, what I'd be looking for, you see how we kind of stopped right there at the end of the day. If we break out above this, I'd probably buy some calls in the morning if the price is totally out of control, like it already hasn't popped. I'd be buying some 140 calls, 138 calls, and I'd probably look to sell them around 140, or so, and just make that a day trade in the morning. I probably would have bought them a little bit more tonight, but I wasn't sure how the market's going to turn out. So me being me, I'd buy them in the morning here tomorrow. All right. Apple's not a good example though. It's not really a good one at all. Maybe Microsoft would be better. No, today they certainly didn't do much at all as well. Here, I did one trade on this today, and that's it. I was hoping I could just show you something better, but this is going to be something simple for you guys. Microsoft had a really good little uptrend here. It was getting nice and squeezed. This pattern is what you call a rising wedge. By the end of the time, you see it kind of wedges up. Let me see if I can find this image for you guys. Oh, did it not go through? Here, let me see. It's that. image, add source. There you go. Browse. YouTube files, patterns, education. There you guys go. You can kind of see that pattern right there. Kind of goes, oh, there. Coming down. Gets kind of choppy. Oh, let me click on this. There you go. Kind of choppy. You can see it up here, kind of in the corner. We break down, and then we just kind of come down from there, right? And so if you go, that's like the main trade I did for today. And then what I was doing is I was just sold some right here, and then sold some right here. It came down a little bit more. This Fibonacci level wasn't too great for me to use today, but you know, if you can find a clear pattern, that's what you're looking for, and that's usually why you have like 8 or 10 different charts on your on your screen when you're looking, because there's you're gonna have to wait for a good setup there. But that's basically what I've been doing. And if you guys can see right here, there was also a double top, broke down below the neckline right. Well, I guess you could say right here, and then we just started to kind of tumble down a little bit more. You're also going to want to be looking at either the NASDAQ or the S&P 500 while making these trades. Not to every single second, but just kind of have a general idea of like, hey, are we bullish or bearish in the S&P? If the S&P looks bearish, NASDAQ looks bearish, this one's NASDAQ. But if, one of them looks bearish, you can make that trade a little bit easier. You can invest more money if everything looks a little bit more bearish than otherwise would have been. But yeah, that's what I was pretty much doing today. There's not really much I like in this market to be trading. Day trading is really going to be the easiest way to make money in this kind of environment. If you guys know how to trade options, a lot easier. If you guys are in the stock, just in the stocks, it's going to be hard to kind of want to short that sucker. You're going to have to be looking for breakouts. And kind of going off of the Apple breakout that we just talked about a few minutes ago, you're going to be hoping that tomorrow, in a similar fashion, Microsoft has a breakout above this trend line right here. And if it does in the morning, boy, oh boy, I'm going to buy some calls and I'll make a little bit of money. Probably buying, by that time, 255, 256 calls expiring probably tomorrow if I want to be a little bit more risky, or the next Friday if I want to be a little bit more risk off. And then, if we make a move back up to 255, 256 from there, from 254 calls, I'll just sell them for a quick little buck. Quick buck. I'm not looking to have it like crazy profits that happen over a multitude of days. If I'm doing that, frankly, I'm waiting for a pop over the next few days in the market. Then I'm going to short, buy puts off of that pop, that bear market rally. Then that's how you're going to make money going forward, if you're looking to hold for multiple days. But we haven't started that bear market rally just yet. I guess I need to get all the NASDAQ stuff back up here. Well, I won't worry about it. But yeah, that's what I'd be doing right now if I was looking for something to buy puts on or calls. But as far as calls, or puts right now, it's more of a day trading thing for me. And then you guys could see this little bit of a move down right here. Like if we break out above that, well then what would happen, right? Well then what you would see is we would have a bottom, then another bottom, and then we would have breakout above that, and then we would break above the neckline here for the double top, and then boom, you could buy there and probably hold for a really good tomorrow. Tomorrow could be a really good day for NASDAQ. It could be a really good day for Bitcoin tomorrow, because you're seeing a lot of opportunities here that are kind of panning themselves out if we break out. There's a lot of cool little breakout opportunities showing themselves. But yeah. So yeah, tomorrow could be a really good day for Bitcoin, guys. It could be a really, really good day. Another, well, not crazy good, but a good day. Like 3, 4, 5% another maybe. Remember, my if we have a little bit of a rally here tomorrow for all these cryptocurrencies, it'd be like Bitcoin going up 4 or 5%, but I don't see us going above 32,900-ish, 32,800-ish. I think that'd be the level where we really get slammed back down. But again, I could be wrong. We'll have to see. But you do see the opportunity for some really good setups leading into tomorrow. We'll see if there's any really bad earnings tomorrow, if there's some really bad economic data that could just destroy that thesis. But there's a plan if you wanted to trade something tomorrow. Microsoft's going to be a good one. Apple's going to be a good one. A lot of stuff in the NASDAQ could be very, very good. And remember, compared to a lot of other stuff, the NASDAQ is oversold compared to a lot of other stuff. It's been really just hammered here, okay? But yeah, I mean, we have a great opportunity for Bitcoin and the NASDAQ to have a great day tomorrow. We just simply have to break out first. So once that happens, you should that'd be a great opportunity to buy some calls. Buy them. Since tomorrow is Friday, there will be calls expiring. If your broker allows you to buy calls that expire, like a TD Ameritrade, stuff like that, you could definitely make some good money really fast. Just don't hold on too long. This market is very choppy. There could be some type of big announcement tomorrow that really just turns everything off. So you want to be very smart. You want to be in the market just for, at max, an hour. at max an hour, and then from there take your profits, or at least within the hour start to scale out just to protect yourself. But again, you guys are grown-ups. You guys can make your own risk decisions. I am much more conservative as a trader, so my way of investing is going to seem a little bit more like, well, dude, you're losing off on so many gains, and I understand it. That's just the way I trade, right? Do I think Doge will be the target from the left now that attempt to go after Elon? No, I don't think Doge is going to be a target for the left here. The left is just, I don't know. The left is just kind of in a bad spot because they want to like Biden, but Biden's policies so far have not been too good for the economy of the United States. And now he's been troubled with baby formula shortages. We're going to have a famine here pretty soon. Not a really bad one, but we're going to have like really bad price hikes on the food markets. We're in that Ukraine kind of crisis right now, even though that's going to go on pretty well. Gas prices are very high. Rent keeps on going up. People feel kind of miserable. The economy is not working for the average guy. And we just elected a Democratic president, which in theory should be better for the poor, right? So, if you're going off historical perceptions, I guess you could say. But, they need to vent, and they need to vent and let them vent. I don't really go on Twitter or social media too much because I don't like to go into the political realm, which is like a lot. There's a lot going on there right now. I go on Twitter these days to go make fun of Amber Heard, or not like just to look at her being made fun of, I guess I would say, because I like watching the Johnny Depp trial. But besides that, nah. And hey, Randy, Luna limit order at 0.009 and point. I mean, yeah, that's reasonable, but you don't know if it's actually going to go down that low. I just kind of bought whenever I felt like it, and I'm just kind of riding it. Because if you're buying for the long term, it won't matter if you buy now, yesterday, a few days ago, tomorrow. It won't really matter. If you're trying to make a quick buck out of it, then yes, that'd be better levels for the quick buck theory. But if you're going to be holding it for months, years, you can buy it now and be happy with it. But if you want to be more precise, then yeah, those levels are going to be fine. You're just going to have to hope for another big sell-off as far as Luna is concerned, which will be a pretty big sell-off because if you're buying at that level, Luna's going to have to come down quite a bit more. And no worries, Ukrainian error. Yeah, I hope you guys did learn a little bit today. It's very weird to see the Nasdaq and Bitcoin kind of going and flux together, kind of like partnering up. I don't like it, as you guys know. I've been kind of ranting about it for months now at this point. But there are pros to it. You just gotta look and see what the major Nasdaq companies are doing. If they're all looking like they have an opportunity to be bullish, tomorrow we could definitely have a good day, and the Bitcoin market can definitely have a really good day. But again, we have to wait for the market open. We have to wait for those things to break out, and then from there you'll see some strong surges in the stock market, specifically the Nasdaq plays that we talked about, and then from there, have a nice little bounce. And again, the Nasdaq is bouncing currently at the Fibonacci level. We could find that as a short-term support level that could lead us off to have a really good Friday, followed by an abysmal Monday. We just have to wait this sucker out. And hey, Bideford, I'm the same with you guys. I got to go. I have a great reminder for your evening. Fingers crossed to have a little fun tomorrow. There you go. So yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow as well. I'm going to take Loki out to use the bathroom. He looks pretty sad right now because I'm ignoring him. So I'm going to, Loki, give him a little treat. Loki, give him a little treat. And he'll be excited to go outside and play. Yeah. Nope. He's looking at my hand, not the treat on my shoulder. Good boy. He keeps on looking at my hand, so it's not going to work. But yeah, sorry guys. I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon. Just be careful with this market. It is very choppy. But guys, if you guys want to day trade, I got new sponsors on the channel. If you guys want to help me, you guys want to help me by signing up to these platforms, I have the links down below. But again, it's up to you guys. I really do appreciate you guys watching the stream tonight. And tomorrow should be a really good fun Friday night. And yeah, Loki's over here getting some scratches on his head. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. It's a kind of a crazy market right now, but keep an eye out for tomorrow, guys. If you want to trade some options, there'll be a great opportunity on Microsoft particularly. Keep an eye on that one, especially that little simple downtrend, double bottom set up right now. If we can break out above that, we should be in a good spot. Oh, he knocked it off my shoulder. Have a